and then I'm gonna record here.
Yeah, can you change it to the other background earlier?
Which one? You don't like this one?
No, I like the other one with the table
Oh,
and
the
the
table.
chair. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, this one's fine as well.
okay. You mean this one?
Wait, the other one.
This is the only one.
Well, I saw another one. It was like you in a beauty or something.
Oh, you mean like this one?
Yeah, because it looked like we in a conference room.
Uh-oh. Hey, this one's nice too. Look at this.
All right, this one. Yeah, leave this one.
Looks like a
Leave
fancy
this one.
home.
I like this one. It's like we're in a house.
Okay.
Well, finally, I'm
Okay.
here
Okay, I
with
think I'm
Winston
recording
Wu.
now.
I'm so happy to finally meet you and get to talk to you in real life.
Yeah, well, I'm just a down to earth guy that's honest and tells it like it is and calls out the BS and stuff and
Yeah,
um yeah, nothing special. I'm not larger than life or anything. I'm just an honest guy with some insight.
yeah.
Okay, so we're recording now, and this is Winston from Happier Abroad, and I'm talking to Tommy. He's a fan
Yeah.
of Happier Abroad, and he has some questions today. Is it okay if I call you Tommy, or what do you want me to call you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right, cool. So, yeah, so you have a list of questions. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah. I want to talk about like Europe, like the different culture comparisons of different, European culture as like different like comparison like can you like all right, the question number one I'm trying to ask is tell me anything about the comparisons from like the French and the Italian culture and also like comparing Britain culture and the German culture in your own experiences,
Oh well,
like the different.
I haven't been to France or Italy, um, but yeah, I mean I guess the stereotypes are true. I mean France is a romantic culture,
Yeah,
um, and they're very relaxed. They like to enjoy life,
yeah,
um, and Germany is kind of a more workaholic culture that's more like serious.
yeah,
And Italy is also a soulful culture with a lot of
yeah.
history. Um, but they have, I guess, Catholic values or something.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not speaking from experience. I mean, this is just the stereotype, the cliche. So yeah, I mean, Europe is really fun to visit. There's a lot of history and culture, and it's a different
Wait,
vibe. It's a
you're
very,
lagging.
yeah, very different vibe than America. It's because in America you don't have beautiful architecture. You have all these strip malls. Like you have with this
Yeah,
parking lot with Walmart and a bunch of offices, and it's just
yeah.
very drab. It's almost like living on a computer chip. You're
Yeah,
just
I agree.
you're just a
Yeah, I
resource.
agree with you. Every building in America, it's like just all about business type of buildings. No, like artwork in it, no statues, no artistic or historical statues in it. Like Greece, for example. You go to Greece, they have a lot of statues on the ancient old buildings. That's what I like about Europe. The beautiful artwork that they do on the buildings and statues. You know, Roman soldiers and stuff like that, in the Greek, gods and stuff.
Oh yeah, if you
Yeah, I
like
saw
history,
pictures of
you'll
you
like
in
Europe. It's
yeah,
has a lot of
yeah,
history. Yeah.
I saw pictures of you in Europe and Russia, and it amazed me how you were in where you showed those pictures of the comparisons of the building in America versus Europe and Russia, but the buildings in Europe and Russia, they seem like a nice, beautiful, historical, nicely done artwork to it, and they seem like they draw the walls or artwork on it with passion with it, But the buildings in America, they just want to build it fast and quick for people to do business. Like they build brick by brick, concrete to concrete, wall by wall with no artwork in it. It's like a prison building.
Yeah,
It's like a prison
it's like
brick.
soulless. People say,
Yeah.
you can tell the soul of the people from the architecture and from the food.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so yeah, the architecture reflects the soul. So the more soulful the people are, the more beautiful the architecture is going to look. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean in America everything's clean and neat, but it's
Hmm.
just soulless. It's just for business.
Yeah.
Also,
I agree with you.
In
You're
most of
totally right.
Asia, the architecture's kind of ugly too. It's just cement slab.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're it's not it's like that too in a way. Just all about efficiency.
Yeah.
They don't have a slow pace of life like in Europe where people live to really enjoy life and um,
Yeah.
yeah. The thing is, I don't know if it's true today, but you see, back in the 1700s.
Hmm.
Americans had this culture of during the Enlightenment era where they believe that having a house and having private property is going to make you free. So they believe that if you own land and you can build your own house, then you're going to have freedom. So that became the ideal, and
Oh.
it still is today.
Yeah.
So America's never had this focus on social connection like Europe has, and whereas in Europe, people have small houses and apartments, but they can
Yeah.
go out and have social connection easier than in America. So the thing is the property equals freedom mentality is outdated. You know, um, it's outdated now, but Americans still think like
Yeah.
that. Like private property is the key to freedom.
Yeah. But
They
it doesn't
don't
make
care
sense
about
because
social connection.
it doesn't make sense, that you know Americans, they think that they have freedom even if they have their own property, but they lock themselves up and they isolate themselves like a prisoner. Like the neighbors never talk to each other. Every time I walk outside, there's nobody to talk to ever to talk to. There's no connection at all.
Yeah,
You
you're
just
too
feel
young to
alone.
remember this, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you were around in the 1980s or not, but you know, before 1985, people did talk to their neighbors. I mean, you could go out and play with
Wow,
your
that's
neighbors.
interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, after 1985, it's people started becoming more closed off and paranoid, and it didn't happen overnight, but it was kind of gradual. Um,
Yeah.
it gradually happened, like you know how you boil a frog and it doesn't notice it. You just don't notice it right away, but after several
Yeah.
years, you start to notice that people starting to become paranoid, and then they don't talk to their neighbors, and then all of a sudden in the 1990s, it started getting worse and worse until all of a sudden
Right.
it's everyone's like, don't talk to me, and
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like
Right.
everyone's a creep, criminal.
Yeah.
Who are you? You're a pervert.
Yeah. Right.
Everyone's
I
like
think.
that. It's very negative. But
Yeah.
yeah, before 1985, it wasn't like that. I think some
Right.
time in the mid 1980s, it started to become like that. But
yeah.
the thing is, what's weird is
Uh-huh.
nobody talks about this. Even in
I
alternative
feel like
media, nobody talks about this at all. It's weird. I mean, people will
yeah.
talk about it privately, but nobody, like in the media, ever talks
Hmm.
about it. Not even
Yeah, the
alternative
media,
media.
they focus so much on uh criminals, on the president. They focus so much on car accidents, mass shootings, but they never talk about people personal uh problem, like mental illness problem in America. The 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 culture in America became more like anti-social electronic TV, type of culture, and consuming materialistic culture, working alcoholic culture. That's what I feel like and see what the media news never talk about. They just focus on other stuff like criminal, you know, like these, prisoners and stuff. They paint every man in American media and news as criminals. I don't know why. Like they want to paint every man that's a stranger out there trying to do something bad to you. Like they trying to paint everybody's bad. Everybody's a pervert. Everybody is
Yeah,
everybody is
yeah. It's like there's
evil.
an agenda. I
It's
don't know.
ridiculous.
It's
Yeah,
an agenda. I don't know if it's some kind of conspiracy or not, but it seems like there's
yeah,
an agenda to do
yeah,
that, to make people
yeah,
paranoid, or
yeah,
maybe it's just mass consciousness. People just
yeah,
become that way, in
yeah.
cycles, because everything has an up and a down cycle, and maybe it's part of a cycle, or maybe it's engineered that way. You
Uh-huh.
know, I don't know, because people are kind of easy to manipulate. They just go along with the current trend, or media or whatever.
Yeah, something that's so popular.
Um,
Yeah,
but and most people, especially your age, they want to be like everyone else. They're trying to conform or something. But I
yeah,
don't know nowadays. I don't know if people are conforming. It's just like everyone's just in their own space or bubble. Just
yeah,
um, they're they're
yeah. So
just they're
many
just
young
kind of like
people
in a
like,
trance or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
They're
So
not
many
not
young
aware.
Americans, for example, they love stupid, crazy rap music. I don't like those type of music. I like listening to European music because it gets my mind flowing. It gets my mind focused. It makes me think about doing creativity stuff. Like writing a book, drawing, playing the guitar. You know, makes me more calm. It don't make me go crazy. Like
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to
yeah,
have some type of hobby in America to stay sane.
yeah, yeah,
Unless
um,
you have some type of social clique. It's
yeah,
hard to do anything social.
yeah,
Um, I mean, you could join some meetup. Like on Meetup.com, and meet people. But it's a lot of it's just really superficial. Even when you meet
yeah,
people, it's just
yeah,
really superficial. Um,
yeah,
yeah, and even if you went to Europe, I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people say it's things are getting worse or something, and
oh, like
that
Western
might be
Europe.
true, that things are getting worse, but there's still a lot of I'm sure there's still a lot of nice people there you can meet,
Yeah,
even if they're a little older. I mean,
yeah,
because the younger
like West.
generation is more spoiled still.
Yeah,
But yeah, you just have to go and see.
yeah, yeah. I want to go. Yeah, I want to go. You know, I don't know how it's like living in Europe. I never been there in my life. My parents. I don't know why they criticize other countries as being bad and unfree, and they make it sound like America's the only country to live in. But for me, I kind of feel like I don't fit in well in America. I had one guy friend that was a friend with me for about a year and back in high school. He I told him that I didn't have a lot of friends like him. He likes to go party, go clubbing, go drink. and he called me a loser. He said you're a loser. You don't. That's why you don't have a lot of friends, man. You don't fit. You don't.
Someone called you a
I
loser?
mean, yeah. From the high school experience, I felt like why are young Americans so judgmental? Like they judgmental very negatively. Like, I got one guy that thought I was mental. You know, for some reason I don't know why. Like he just think that I was mental. Um, yeah, I had it. Yeah, he found out that I had a crush on his female on his one of his female friend, you know. But yeah, he just judged me for being mental for some reason. I wasn't even mental at all. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
people
had
are really
his
quick to
own
judge
clique of
you.
friends.
People are really quick to judge you in America. I
Yeah,
don't know why.
I don't understand
And they
why
put that label
that
on you,
is.
like loser. They like to put that label on you. That's what I love
Yeah,
about the Philippines. Nobody ever calls you a loser. Nobody judges you.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
very, very refreshing over
I
in the
remember I
Philippines.
went
That's
back
why
to
it's a really
Vietnam.
top spot for
Yeah,
expats. I mean, nobody
yeah,
ever judges you. Everyone's like, go with the flow and just. Um, but yeah, I mean, in America, it's so judgmental,
yeah.
and it's like everyone's trying to bring you down so they can feel better
Yeah,
about
exactly.
themselves, and it's
And like they
pretty
try to make
toxic.
you go crazy or something.
It's pretty
It's
toxic.
like when Yeah, it's like when people, judge you or label you and call you names. It's like they want to make you go crazy and make you become like a mass shooter or something. And it's ridiculous. And when I went overseas to the Caribbean countries like Puerto Rico, Honduras, um, Costa Rica, I have a life changing experience. Like I made a few new friends. You know,
Oh, you went to Costa
people very.
Rica and Honduras?
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful over there. Beautiful water with beach, trees. Yeah, I feel like Latin American people.
Oh yeah, and there
Um,
was a very different vibe too, right? I didn't know that. I thought you never left America before. I thought, I
I
thought you were
have,
you were just out of high school or something. Or I thought,
I've been done with high school 2 years ago. I'm done with high school 2 years ago. Um, yeah, I went to Puerto Rico. It was so beautiful over there. Like I felt like I don't have to follow these strict laws and rules, by the cops,
yeah,
and
I
stuff
never
like that.
understood that. I mean, why is it that Puerto Rico feels more free than America, and Mexico does too? But the thing is,
Yeah, Mexico
Mexico
too.
doesn't go around saying that they're the land of the free. Only America does. I never understood that. It's
Yeah,
very bizarre.
yeah,
Doesn't make a lot of sense,
yeah,
you know. But yeah, I mean, different countries have different vibes. People
yeah,
don't talk. Have you noticed that nobody compares cultures? People don't talk about
yeah.
that. They
You're
always
right.
talk about the
You're
world
definitely
as
right.
one country. They talk about the
Hmm.
world as one country, and and oh, we need to fight for our freedom.
Yeah,
It's stupid.
most Americans who don't travel enough abroad or ever try to like live abroad for 1 year or more, they assume that every single country is the same thing like America, but that don't make sense. Every country has their own expectation, has their own cultures, has their own foods, has their own way of thinking, of living, their own lives. Um, I don't think other countries will. Uh, I don't think other countries evolve or revolve around America expectation. Like they don't care about our president at all. You know, and other countries has their own rules, I bet, and their own laws. But I feel like the rules here are very strict.
Oh yeah, and they're not just strict; they feel strict too. It's not just like
Yeah,
like government or something, but the social culture is very strict.
yeah,
It's like oppressive. It's like
yeah.
you'd better behave
Controlling.
in the right way, otherwise or else.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
like
much like controlling.
Japan and Taiwan are like that too. It's like really strict
Yeah,
socially, and
yeah,
it's not the government. It's just very socially strict. The thing is, everyone only talks about politics, but politics doesn't affect you directly. Whereas
right, right.
the social culture is something that affects you directly.
Right,
You know,
right.
so it's more important the social culture, whether it's free or not, than politics. But you know, if you when you
Yeah,
turn on the TV, it's all about politics and you know these big issues that have nothing to do with you. They don't
yeah,
touch you.
right.
It's kind of
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah. And plus, America now is almost close to 3 million prisoners. It's
Oh,
close
three
to three
million? I
million
thought it was like
prisoners.
2 million or something.
It's
Last
getting
I heard, it
close.
was two
It's
million.
getting it's getting close to 3 million, and that's insane. And that tells you right there how can the freest country in the world have millions of prisoners? That's messed up. Um, Now America only has 5 freedoms. You know, that's all. They have the freedom to vote whatever president you want. You have the freedom to own whatever guns you want. You have the freedom to uh see what was the other freedom? The third one. Oh,
Oh, like freedom of
get
religion or something. I
yeah,
mean, those
yeah,
things don't really matter. I mean,
yeah,
buying a
no.
gun doesn't make you free. I mean,
Yeah,
or
that's what I'm
voting, it
saying.
doesn't
I
make
don't
you
have any
free.
gun.
I
I,
mean, how does voting make you free? That's stupid, you know.
and
Because
also the freedom to get
if you can't be
a
yourself and you can't do what you love or do what you want, then you're not
yeah.
free. It doesn't matter if you're voting or not.
That's
It's
what I
kind of
felt
dumb,
like
isn't it?
when in high school and throughout high school. I felt I couldn't be myself, you know. But I did focus on my passion, you know. I did, but I felt I couldn't be myself, you know. That was the problem in high school, you know. And I developed depression and loneliness in high school, you know. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, don't you?
and there was
I
another.
don't know how high school is now, but didn't you feel like everyone's like kind of like exclusive, like kind of like oh, get away
Yeah,
from me, you're not part of my clique, you know,
yeah, exactly. Yes, I felt like that in high school as well.
and you can't
And
talk
it's
about it either. You can't talk about it
yeah.
because if you talk about it, you'll feel like a loser.
That there is part of the American culture nowadays, right? The modern American culture now is clicky, superficial, artificial acting, and
Yeah, and you can't
they
talk
try
about it.
to
You have to blame yourself. You know, you have to
yeah,
say, "Oh, I'm
yeah,
too shy. I have social anxiety, or
yeah,
I'm too introverted, or I'm too busy with work. I don't have time to be social." You have to blame yourself. You can't tell it like it is.
yeah,
You know, you're
yeah,
not allowed to.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I
and you
want
always
to
have to act
finish.
positive too. You have to pretend everything's great and always upbeat and positive and no,
Yeah,
everything's great. Life is beautiful. You have to, you know, always be positive, you know. So
right, right,
you can't even be honest. Like if I say,
yeah,
"Hey, how's it going?" You're expected to say something positive like, "Oh, I'm doing great."
yeah. You can't even.
You can't say
You're
something
right.
negative. So you can't
I
even
felt the same way like you. I felt the same way. Like I felt like I can't even say, "Oh, I'm not doing good because I'm lonely." Oh, I can't make friends for some reason. And then people would judge you automatically in America if you say, "Oh, I'm feeling bad today because I'm sick. I feel lonely. Oh, I can't make new friends here. I can't get any dates." It's like the
well,
in
say, "Oh,
America
it's
the
your problem.
culture.
It's your problem. You must
Yeah,
be a
you're
loser
taught to
then."
blame yourself. You're correct.
Yeah, they're
And
quick to
how can
shoot
you
you
blame
down.
yourself? Yeah, but here's the fact: how can you blame yourself when the society or the people in general don't want to help you or don't care about you as an individual? You see, how can you blame yourself? It's like trying to tell a person to go stab themselves with a knife or cut themselves or hang themselves or punish themselves. That don't make no sense.
Well, I don't know. It seems like they assume if you know, if you weren't a loser, if you were cool, then you would have
Yeah,
lots of friends, you'd have fun, and
yeah,
I don't know. I think most people are just on a different frequency or something, and
yeah,
if you don't connect
yeah,
to it, then you don't connect to it or something. It's like,
yeah. I feel like young Americans nowadays, they feel like they need to buy like a nice car to fit into and to have a lot of friends. I don't care about that at all. I drive a Honda car. It's not a fancy car at all. It's like a $5,000 car, and I'm happy with it. But I don't want to drive. I feel like I don't want to drive a car all my life because I'm sick and tired of paying gas all the time and waste money like that. I'd rather live in a country where you can have like a easy access transportation, like in Europe, like a transportation, the bus transportation, you know,
Yeah, it's more healthy
and
when you have public transportation.
yeah,
I mean, you get to walk more. You meet people on the bus and on the train.
yeah,
That's how it's like in Russia too.
yeah,
Everywhere you go, you can meet people and get phone
yeah,
numbers,
yeah,
and you don't feel like a creep or pervert, just for
yeah.
talking to people.
Yeah, I want to get finished labeling the five freedoms America would have. So the third freedom was you have the freedom to find a job, make as much money you want. The fourth one was the freedom to protest against the government, but that's not going to make anything better because the government has all its powers in its hands.
Yeah,
And the
it
fifth
doesn't
freedom
change
was
anything if you go out and protest. Remember all
buying
the
whatever you
marches against
want.
Washington D.C.
Yeah,
It doesn't accomplish anything. You could
yeah,
get tear gas too.
yeah. Plus, the government has way more power than the average Americans, than the average individual people. So how can they talk and crap about the government? They ain't gonna make stuff better. The government has all the powers in its hands.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people on YouTube talking crap about the government. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, yeah. It don't. It does not change anything. I
You
agree
can
with
only
you.
change yourself or your location or
Yeah, your life,
you can
your own
change your
life.
attitude somewhat. You
Yeah,
can't change who you are at the core,
yeah,
but you can change your I don't know, a little bit of your behavior and
yeah,
your location too, or move to another country or whatever.
yeah.
You can move to another state too. Some states are friendlier than others. I always
Mm-hmm.
thought your state, Texas, was supposedly more friendly and hospitable or something. A lot of people say it is.
Yeah,
Maybe you've been there too long, so you don't notice it. But
yeah.
people who just arrive will say, you know what? Most of the American girls I've met that were friendly were from
Uh-huh.
Texas
Oh,
for
okay.
some reason. That's quite a coincidence or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I should visit your state sometime and see if most girls are like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
all the open-minded American girls I know are from the South.
Oh, okay. This is bizarre, but from my experience, it's different. My experience is that throughout and after high school, girls were never interested in me for some reason. They never showed me interest at all, and I felt alienated for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know.
Oh,
It's,
I
it's
thought
it's
just You've been
bizarre.
in California. It's the same as California.
I don't know. I have a different view on the California. I felt like people there were cool with me. They smiled at me when I went there. They seemed open there too. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, does it have anything to do with race or anything? Or
No, I think I don't know.
have you been to other parts of Texas, like
Yeah, like I went to
Dallas or some small town? Or
San Antonio. I went to
what about
Dallas
that hippie
once.
town, Austin? Like there's a lot of hippies and new age people there, Austin.
Nah, I have not gone there very much. I have not gone down there very much. Um, yeah, the last freedom America has is being able to buy whatever you want. But I don't see that America don't have these freedom. They don't have the freedom to socialize and connect with anybody. They don't have
Yeah,
the
nobody
freedom
talks
to
about that.
date
Nobody in the media talks about
multiple
that. It's
women
funny.
that you want. You don't have the freedom to make new friends. You don't have the freedom to uh, go out and compare different, uh, I guess, countries and race and religion. You don't have the freedom to talk about that. I think because if you do that, I think people will get offended or something.
Yeah,
You don't
people
have
don't
the
like it when you compare stuff.
yeah,
They don't
yeah,
like it when you compare. For
yeah,
some reason, I
and
don't know why.
also
Especially women are creeped out by that.
yeah, and also you don't have
Even
the
in Asia, a
freedom
lot of
to
people, even in other countries, people don't. Women don't like that for some reason when you compare
yeah,
cultures.
yeah.
For some reason, it just, I don't
Hmm.
know. It turns off a lot of people. I don't know why.
Hmm.
It's like you're supposed to pretend that everything is the same everywhere or something.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Because man, American culture is very different than European culture, South Latin American culture, um, Asian culture. But one time you said that both Asian and American culture they're very similar with the working type of lifestyle, working mentality. And I agree with that. My dad, he thinks that living life is all about working and working, working, making money. But me, I have a different view from that. I was like, man, I want to follow my passion. I want to do what I want to do. But I feel like I can't do that because I feel like I have, I feel like in America, you don't have the freedom to do what you want to do out socially and culturally. And I feel like America don't have the freedom to do what you're supposed to love, what you do. Like people don't seem like they encourage people to tell the people, hey, keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you love to do, They don't encourage people that. They encourage people to go to college, go to the top universities, go uh work at a job.
Yeah, it's
This
like all about raising your status, so your career,
yeah, yeah.
to have a
Yeah,
good career.
I wanna finish the 16 questions. The second question is um, what is the cost of living in western and eastern part of Europe? Like renting or like renting an apartment or buying a home there. You know what's the difference?
Well, I know that in Eastern Europe things are cheaper, and Western Europe is going to be more expensive. Um,
Yeah,
but in every place, even if you're like in some place expensive, like England, I mean, there's ways to save money if you just you just have to shop around or you know stay someplace away from downtown or city center. If you stay
yeah,
on, like, if you're in a major city and you stay on the outskirts, you can find some cheaper
yeah,
deals. If you compromise the
yeah,
quality. But yeah, Eastern Europe is a lot cheaper than Western Europe. I don't know about now, but generally it is. And so the women are more feminine. They're more like
yeah.
in Russia,
I read up in
Ukraine.
your article
They're
about
more
that.
feminine and more thin and a little less westernized.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think Eastern Europe is better in terms of like cost of living, traditional values, or feminine. The women are
yeah,
more feminine, so it's like a good middle ground between expensive Western Europe and the chaos of
yeah.
Russia.
So,
Russia's fun, but it's very chaotic. And it's
uh-huh.
also very corrupt. So it's a really good middle ground. Not too extreme on this side or that side. So Eastern Europe is one of the
Yeah,
good hotspots. And that includes Poland
yeah,
too, Romania, Lithuania, Latvia,
yeah,
Bulgaria, uh, Ukraine, of course.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of countries there. So yeah, I would recommend Eastern, but you never know where you're gonna fit in until you try.
You're right, right,
You never know.
right.
I mean, you could stop in Paris for a little while and then meet your soulmate there. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, that could be your destiny. Who knows? I mean, because everyone's
yeah,
like destiny is different, so that might happen for some people, but not for
yeah.
everyone. So
Yeah, I saw a video of a lot of these Chinese men. They went to the Ukraine and they were marrying and dating these beautiful Ukrainian women
oh,
because they were single. They couldn't get any woman in China, so they went to the Ukraine and get married there, date
isn't it
Ukrainian
that
women.
that agency with that Chinese guy setting them up? It's some
I don't know.
agency,
I don't
right?
know.
Yeah, that's some marriage agency, and it's super expensive. So
Oh, okay.
I think he charges like $10,000 for it or something. It's crazy.
What?
I
Just
mean,
to
you could
marry a
buy two
woman?
cars
Come
from
on.
that. I mean, it's crazy. Well, I mean, he's not catering to the average guy. He's trying to cater to like the super wealthy or something. That's kind of
Yeah,
stupid. I don't
yeah,
like that. I mean, I don't like it when something caters only to rich people and excludes everyone. I mean, that's really
yeah.
elitist. It's I
Yeah.
don't like that attitude.
But
Yeah, so that
yeah,
that guy turns me off. I mean,
yeah. You're lagging a little bit. Yeah. I hope your audio is all right. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, there might be a little delay, you know,
Yeah.
because the internet is not really fast where I am, and you're on the other side of the world, so there's a slight delay.
Okay. Yeah. Question three is it true that the cost of living in the U.S. is become more higher cost of living in renting, you know, or buying a house? Is it true? Is it getting up higher? If so, why is it? I heard is it because the inflation is going up higher or something?
Oh, you mean in the U.S.?
Yeah, the
Well,
cost
yeah.
of
I
living.
mean,
I I've
people.
heard that it's going up higher each year, and that's what Americans fear. The young Americans they fear the cost of the uh paying the price of living, like renting, buying a house or renting an apartment. That's what they fear, and they feel
Yeah,
like they have to work more.
I don't know anything about buying a house because I've always rented, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
I've heard that the cost of living did go up in the U.S. I mean, I haven't lived in the U.S. since like 2006 or something,
Wow. Wow.
but the thing
No,
is
I'm not planning to
the
buy a
inflation.
house.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
say
not
the
planning to want to
inflation
buy a house.
started in the 1970s. That's when it
Yeah.
skyrocketed. Before
Oh,
1970, the cost of living was still pretty good in the U.S. I mean, it
yeah.
wasn't crazy. It was very reasonable and low. But after
Hmm.
1970, I don't remember what happened. Something happened in the 70s. I think maybe Jimmy Carter or Nixon or they did something or whatever, and then inflation skyrocketed or something. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden in 1980, the price of a house became like really high.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. But people say recently the gas prices have gone up too, and so. Um,
Yeah.
but houses, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
gas did got up. When I pumped my gas for like $25, $20, it was full gas. Now, when I go pump at a gas station now, it costs me up to $40 in the US. $40 for the full gas. And I was like, man, that's
really,
ridiculous.
just for a small car,
Yeah, Honda is like a medium sized car. There's a back seat as well. Yeah.
$40 just for gas. Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, seriously,
it used
for
to
full
cost me
gas.
20 bucks or something. You know, when I first started driving in 1992,
Uh-huh.
I think the gas was like a dollar 25 or something, a gallon or something. But
Wow, that's
yeah,
cheap. But nowadays, gas is so expensive in the US.
yeah, and
Yeah, it's
even a postage stamp costs a lot now. You know,
hmm
the postage stamp I remember it used to be 15 cents or something. It's
hmm
crazy.
yeah,
You know, that's one of the major issues in America that the cost of
yeah,
living is out of control. You
yeah,
know, but the media doesn't talk about that. All it talks about is like race and equality and it's
yeah,
just really dumb stuff they talk about. It's
yeah,
useless. I mean, what's the point
yeah.
of talking about race? You can't change your race, so talking about it's not
Right,
going to change anything. It's useless to talk about race
right,
all the time. It's dumb. It's like a
hmm
distraction, you know.
right, right.
They just waste millions of dollars of airtime talking about useless stuff, you know.
Yeah,
Or
right.
yeah, or you can watch the basketball game or the baseball game, and you know it doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't change your life. Who wins the game? I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of stupid, you know. Professional sports.
yeah, yeah. They focus on that too. Sports, uh, like I said, crime, car accidents. What else they talk about? They talk about
And race too, of course.
yeah, race problems, race issues.
And
Yeah, I don't.
politics too. And
Yeah, man, for years, the Black Americans here in the U.S. They've been fighting against racism and discrimination against the white cause for years now, for years since Martin Luther King, and after he died, and it's still pretty bad. It's
Yeah, but you know,
it's
most
bizarre.
people I know, most people in America I know don't. I mean, are not racist. You know, it's the media that's
Yeah,
racist. They're always talking about it.
yeah.
The media is the one that's
Uh-huh.
talking about it. I mean, in real life, people don't talk about race or discriminate.
No, you're right. You're
It's
right.
like
When
in
I'm out in
reality,
public,
yeah, people don't care
I
about
don't
your
see
race.
anybody talking
I
about
mean, if
that.
they like
Yeah,
you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. You know, but it's the media
yeah,
that's obsessed with race.
yeah,
You know, I heard that real conservatives they don't care about race. It's the liberals that keep talking about it all the time,
yeah,
and it's pointless because you can't change your race. So what's the point of talking about it?
yeah,
It's the you can have been talking about it since the 1960s, and they're still
yeah,
talking about it today. I mean, what's the point? You know,
yeah.
it's useless.
You know, I wonder if the Black Americans, if they face so much uh discrimination of racism problem in the U.S., why didn't they want to move over to another country like South Latin America where they could face less racism, or
Oh, some
maybe
have.
Europe?
There's a documentary. I don't know if it's still up on YouTube. It's called "Frustrated Black Men in
Ah, okay.
America," and it
Yeah,
shows a lot of some black men that went to Brazil and had a better life. So there's some that
exactly.
are doing
I
it.
was
Yeah,
thinking about that.
it's
I was
called
thinking about
"Frustrated." Yeah, the documentary.
yeah,
But I don't know about most black guy people. I mean,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. I guess they're just trying to make money and they get entertained by stupid stuff like rap music or sport.
yeah. Yeah, I don't
You should
understand
ask
that.
some black people about that or something.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
my movement, the living abroad movement,
yeah,
it's popular with a lot of black people. There's a lot of black guys that have come to my forum. You
yeah.
know,
What they ask about? What they ask about?
no, they just ask about which countries they can go to that likes black
Oh,
people. Like there's a couple of
yeah,
threads on my forum that
yeah,
have titles like "What country is best for black people" or something,
yeah.
or
I
"Which
feel like
countries
South
love
Latin
black men."
America is best for black men or black people in general. I don't feel like there's a lot of. I don't feel like I can see a lot of racism there towards blacks because Latin American people seem to be very, like warm, opening, friendly type of people and curiosity,
Oh yeah, I think
type of
Latin
people.
America is good for them because it's very. I mean, it's like everybody's a mixed race already, kind of like the
Yeah,
Philippines. Kind of like the
yeah,
Philippines. So everybody feels accepted there.
yeah,
You don't feel this tension between people, like this
yeah,
paranoia.
yeah,
It's weird.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, the Latin America is a really good hotspot for them, like
yeah,
Brazil or Colombia.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I've never been there. That's just what I've heard.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a really good spot because it's one of the last places of freedom. They don't have as
Hmm.
many lockdowns over there.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, you just have to be street smart because there's more like crime there.
yeah,
It's not going to be
yeah.
as safe as in
It's
America.
strange that how come I even feel like Black Americans face more racism in America compared to Europe. I feel like Europe treats them a lot better than people in the U.S. I don't know. I feel like the U.S. is more like a redneck type of country, like a KKK, white American racist land. That's what I feel like. I feel like if I go to back to Vietnam when I was like around 6 years old and 9 years old, I wouldn't see all that racism against, you know, the blacks or Asians as in the U.S.
Yeah, probably not. Plus, Vietnam is a very low cost of living.
Yeah,
So does Thailand. But a
yeah,
lot of people who've been to Vietnam, they like it for some reason. I mean, I
yeah.
don't know why. I haven't been there, but
I heard the cost of living there is cheap. My dad even told me that the cost of living in Vietnam is cheaper than in the U.S. And you feel a lot more socially free there to talk to anybody you want and date any woman you want there. And the food there looks pretty healthy too. Vietnam.
well, it probably is. In Asia, food is pretty good in most places, except for the
Uh-huh.
Philippines. I mean, I mean, the local Filipino food is not really good.
Uh,
That's why you never see a Filipino restaurant anywhere.
mm,
I mean, nobody
mm,
likes it except for Filipinos.
yeah. I just don't like to compare cultures, different cultures from different countries. I like to compare different uh foods, like comparing Vietnamese food to Chinese food, comparing Korean food to Japanese food, like the different tastes, different you know to it. And for example, I think Chinese food it's a lot more. It feels a lot more greasy and oily than the Vietnamese food. I feel like Vietnamese food is more dry, vegetable, and wet, and more more I don't know, more dry and wet.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could be true.
and
I haven't
soupy.
tried a lot of Vietnamese
Yeah,
food, but um, I thought usually Vietnamese usually just have noodle soup, right? I mean, they don't usually eat
yeah, they
rice,
do.
right?
They do. Yeah, a lot of Vietnamese food like soupy food. Yeah, soupy food. I forgot that word, soupy, like a soup type of food. Yeah, yeah. Chinese food is more like a lot of greasy stuff in it, like
Oh
ginger
yeah,
sour chicken, kung pao chicken,
yeah.
orange
It's really
chicken.
spicy too.
Yeah, and the rice. I mean, I love Chinese food. If I'm trying to gain like muscle mass, like Bruce Lee, but Vietnamese food, I feel like it's more like for diet. Trying to lose weight, is it best to eat the Vietnamese food because it has more vegetables in it, more soup in it, and less high, uh, I guess, sugar in it, and less sodium taste to it. Yeah, and less oil cooking to it. Yeah, I feel like oil, greasy food does make you sleepy and more. Feel like more gaining weight to it. Gaining muscle or mass or fatness in your body. Yeah, I feel like Japanese food is more good for diet too. I think because they eat a lot of fish with rice.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
raw dry
Japanese
fish.
have a very long life expectancy. Like in
Yeah,
Okinawa,
that's
they have
true.
the
That's
longest life
true.
expectancy. So
Yeah,
they must have a really healthy diet or lifestyle or
yeah,
something. I mean,
yeah. Now I read that the Japanese they love to drink a lot of hot herbal tea. That's why they live long, right? They drink a lot of herbal tea because herbal tea is kind of like drinking vitamin medicine to
yeah, but they also eat small portions too.
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't need to eat
they
a lot. You can just eat
yeah,
small portions and get by it. And because
yeah,
Americans eat too much,
yeah,
they try to
right,
fill their
right,
emptiness with food. Um,
right. Yeah, I see so many of these American YouTube channel and videos about these food challenges, man. I see it disgusts me because I see these young Americans they doing these food challenges like they will eat 40 boxes of cookies or 10 10 hamburgers. Yeah, it just really disgusts me. If I felt like throwing up because why would you want to live your life eating and overeating and putting all these food inside your body like you're like a garbage? It's ridiculous. Human bodies aren't meant to be put put junk food and unhealthy food inside their body like a garbage can. Humans are meant to eat healthy like how these animals eat the vegetables from the grass and plants. You
yeah.
notice when you look at these apes, they eat a lot of these green leaves and vegetables because they're trying to eat healthy. And
Yeah.
I feel like the Europeans don't they drink a lot of tea as well? They don't drink coffee, don't they? As much as Americans, they drink so much coffee, and that's not healthy. I
Yeah,
don't
they do
think
drink a
coffee is
lot of
healthy.
coffee, but I don't think they have as many tea brands. I mean, Asia has the
Yeah,
most tea brands.
yeah.
Are
Um,
we on? Oh, are we only on question two? You had
uh,
16, right?
yeah, I was on question three. All right, let's get on to question four. I'm getting off topic. All right, is it a fact that European healthcare insurance is more affordable than American healthcare insurance? Because I read up that millions of people are uninsured with no health care in the U.S. Also, is it possible for a person as myself to get a health insurance in Europe if I don't? But I don't have a health insurance in the U.S. right now. But if I like go to Europe and live over there as a teacher, is it possible for me to get it like a health care insurance? But I read that European healthcare insurance is more affordable. And I heard that the government there, I read up that the government in Europe gives people free healthcare insurance to like the doctor, if they got sick or they got injured or something.
Yeah, I don't know much about that. I think you can purchase expat health insurance, or you can just pay out of pocket there. But the thing is,
Oh, okay.
if you're just a tourist or passing through and you need to go to the doctor, I don't know how that works because I don't
Okay.
usually go to doctors very much. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure there's some way. I mean, if you're a tourist, you can go to a hospital without spending a lot of money. There's a really good documentary about this by Michael Moore. It's called Sicko. I think
Yeah. I saw the
oh, you saw
video
that? Yeah, you can
title.
see it on YouTube. I think it's called Sicko, 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 and it
Yeah.
compares like the healthcare in Europe to America. It's pretty interesting.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I don't know why millions of Americans don't have any healthcare insurance. And but I read that it's due to the high cost of affording a healthcare insurance. Is it because of that? It's too expensive or something? Is it too expensive, right?
Oh yeah, I mean healthcare is really expensive in the U.S.
Yeah,
Especially if you have to like do surgery or get hospitalized. I mean, it's
yeah,
going to cost a fortune, and a
yeah.
lot of people go bankrupt from healthcare costs. So
Dang.
you got to have
Okay.
insurance, if unless you're really healthy.
Yeah. I don't have insurance, but I'm a healthy guy. I drink water every day. I drink hot herbal Chinese, Japanese tea. I eat light. I don't eat chips or all these, fast food at all. I eat food from the grocery store. Yeah, that's what I eat.
Yeah, but I don't know why the healthcare cost is so high in the U.S. If it's intentional
Yeah,
or not, but
yeah,
it just seems really corrupt and out of control.
yeah. I don't know why they don't offer uh free healthcare insurance for people in the U.S. at all, like Europe. I don't know why.
Well, their excuse is that to offer national health care, they'd have to raise taxes, but that's not true
Oh,
because in Japan or China or Taiwan,
uh-huh.
the tax rate is really low, like 10 or
Yeah.
15%, but they have
Oh,
national health care. So that's not true. You
yeah.
don't have to raise taxes to 50% to have national health care.
Man,
They're
it
just
sounds like
lying.
they're
They're
trying to
just lying when
scam
they say
people.
that. They're lying when they say that. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're so full of lies. They never talk about other countries. Ooh, what happened? What the heck happened?
Can you change it to the other background earlier?
Which one? You don't like this one?
No, I like the other one with the table and
Well, are you
yeah.
there? Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I disconnected. Sorry about that, man. I was enjoying the interview. I had a phone call. It's my fault. My bad. My bad.
Oh, you had a call?
Yeah, phone
are you
call. It's
finished with the
okay.
call or no?
Yeah, I could get back onto the interview. I still have a long question to go on number 5.
Oh, hold on a second. I gotta figure out. Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. I can't figure out how to get back to this.
Man,
Man,
I'm so upset that the first interview got cut off. I'm so upset that happened.
no, that's okay. I have another recorder, so it's still recording, even though Skype stopped.
Yeah, I could post that on my YouTube channel, you know, as the part 1 interview, and then this be part 2. Yeah,
Well, you could, but I can just send you the file, the whole file in one file, so it's
yeah,
together.
yeah. Can you get back to that background stuff again?
Okay, let me try.
Oh man,
Let me try.
Winston Wu, my bad, man. I was trying to hang up the call from another person, but I picked the call on them.
Oh, can you see it now? Oh,
Yeah, I can see it.
oh, how come it doesn't show me? It's weird.
Well, where's your
Oh, I
camera?
see here. I gotta turn on the stupid camera. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on question 4 about the healthcare insurance. What about the European healthcare insurance in American healthcare insurance? What were we talking about earlier? It was about the healthcare insurance. Oh, it's about the government tax. You were talking about the paying, having to pay for the government tax just to get a free healthcare insurance in the U.S., but that's not true, as you said.
Oh yeah, because in Asia, I mean, they have national health care, but but they don't have, a high tax. Um, you see that they want you to think that like in Sweden, they have a high tax, like 50% or something,
Yeah,
and then they have free health care. I mean, they have national health care. They want you to think like that's the only way, but it's not true because there's a lot of countries with national health care that doesn't have 50% tax. I mean,
yeah.
like Japan or China or I don't know, maybe Vietnam or something. But so yeah, healthcare is affordable in almost every country.
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't know what the U.S.'s problem with that is.
yeah. All right,
Um,
I want to move on to question 5. Um, why and what is the major cause of high, mass shootings in public from these mass shooters ratio compared to other countries from America? Also, why does America have a high rate of prisoners in the world? Also, I notice each year or every every month, people seem like they're going more and more like going to jail. Even the young teenagers. I mean, I see these videos of these young teenagers. They get locked up in jail for like hundreds of years in the U.S. From like young teenagers to young adults, they're getting locked up in jail like more in the U.S. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like each month or each year. Yeah. Yeah, but the first question is that why does the U.S. have a higher mass shooting rates in public than like other countries like Europe, Asia, Latin America? Yeah, I mean like 5 mass shootings happened this year in 2021. Like there was one uh, man that shot up this Asian nail salon place. You know, I don't know why, but it happened in Philadelphia or Georgia, or Georgia or Philadelphia, somewhere in the South or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I guess there are several possibilities. One is that people are just really frustrated and angry. You know, like they
Yeah.
have nothing to live for, nothing to hope for, and they're
Yeah.
tired of being fake all the time and pretending everything's great.
Yeah.
So eventually they lose it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Or they get super
in America
depressed,
you
right?
can't be yourself. You have to put on this fake mask and pretend all the time.
Yeah.
And when you
Yeah.
pretend every day, eventually you can lose it or something if you can't
Yeah.
handle it. So that could be one reason. Another reason is that you're surrounded by so much technology and Wi-Fi, and maybe
Yeah.
all these 4G and 5G, and there's too much like EMF and magnetic interference, and so it screws you
Yeah.
up and makes you lose your temper all the time.
Uh-huh.
But that's a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but who knows? It could be true.
Mm.
Another explanation is
Yeah.
that a lot of these shooters are like being mind controlled. Like by
Mm.
MK Ultra, or like in that movie. Have you ever seen it? It's called Manchurian Candidate from
No, I never heard
1960.
that.
Yeah, it's about an assassin that's mind controlled by MK Ultra,
Oh.
and then they have a trigger word. Once you're mind controlled, they can give you a trigger word and then make you go off. So yeah, so
Yeah.
there's Manchurian Candidate, and there, a movie about that, and then there's like another one. I don't remember the name. Another one with
Yeah.
Charles Bronson or something. It's about a
Yeah.
programmed assassin.
Yeah.
Um, that's not completely a conspiracy theory, because the CIA or something did admit that they have that program. It's called MK Ultra. So
Uh-huh.
that is well documented. It is admitted. And
Yeah.
President Bill Clinton even went on TV and apologized for MK Ultra too.
Yeah.
So the
Uh,
president of the United States in the 1990s even admitted that it was true. So that is a possibility. I don't know, because I don't know. Like like the Las Vegas shooting that happened before.
yeah,
That was famous. Yeah,
there was a man.
some people think that was staged or something. I mean, like
Yeah.
like the guy was, I don't know. It was very mysterious. Like the whole thing
Mhm.
was some type of false flag or something. Because there's a lot of weird things
Yeah.
about it that don't make sense. Like
Yeah.
he was super accurate, and had no experience, and you can't just shoot out of a hotel window, because the hotels in Las Vegas have very thick glass, and so it's not
Yeah.
easy to just break it and start shooting people from up there. I
Yeah.
mean, and you can't be so accurate too.
Yeah.
There's a
Most of
lot of
these
weird
mass
stuff. There's a
shooters.
lot of weird stuff, man, that you never know what's going on. I mean, and there's different
Yeah, but most of
possibilities.
these.
It's just crazy. Either way, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I don't mean to put like a race hate amongst these mass shooters or discriminating against them, but most of these mass shooters look like they're like white American males, right? There's some. There was one. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just mostly amongst the white American males who become mass shooters. There was one guy in 2013 or 12. There was a guy who ended up running in the theater, movie theater. He threw like a smoke grenade bomb and he shot up the people at the movie theater seats, and they all ran out, and the cops came.
Oh yeah, but
It
the thing
was
is,
ridiculous.
if black people or Asian people commit a crime, it doesn't get much coverage. They like to
What?
cover white people for some reason. That's So the media is really anti-white,
uh,
especially anti-white male for some reason. I mean,
yeah,
they like to
yeah,
focus on white males.
yeah.
So it
Did
doesn't mean
you?
other races don't commit
Yeah,
crimes. They just don't get covered as
yeah,
much.
yeah,
So yeah, there's a lot of
yeah,
white people that are frustrated about that the media is very
yeah,
anti-white, and
yeah,
um it's kind of sick. I mean to demonize the dominant culture like that,
yeah.
because America is still dominantly white, and so to demonize the
Right,
main
right,
culture, it's kind of sick. I mean,
right. Yeah, even
it's just something a healthy society doesn't do.
yeah. even Elliot Rogers, he was half white, half Asian. He ended up becoming a mass shooter too because he got frustrated, he got depressed, he got angry because these women wouldn't want to date him for some reason. You know, he had a college degree. He was a smart guy too because he had a college degree, and I think the problem with him is that his behavior of attitude and the behavior acting around women that he found attractive, he kind of have that awkward, weird way of acting behavior, and that's why the woman probably thought he was a creep because the way he act
Did
with
he
his
have
behavior.
Asperger's or something, or some mental thing, or like Asperger's or autism or something?
I watched a documentary about Elliot Rogers. Yeah, he was mental. He was. He has these negative, false, self-limiting beliefs. You know that he keep believing that I can't attract these attractive white woman because I'm half Asian. And they wouldn't be attracted to me to want to date me because I'm half Asian. I'm not white enough. To able to date these attractive white women. That was his problem in his own mind. And also he was just living in California. You know, and if he couldn't get any dates with women in California, why didn't he come try out and try to date women in Texas or women in Florida or women in New York or women in Canada or the Caribbean countries or Europe? He could have thought, hey, what about dating and getting women in other countries or other states?
Yeah, maybe
You
he
know,
didn't know because nobody talks about that.
yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
talks about
no,
going someplace else for a better dating
yeah,
life or something. I mean, that's just never
yeah,
discussed. The
yeah.
assumption is America is the world, and if you don't fit into America, you don't fit in anywhere. That's the
Yeah.
assumption.
And hey, you're right. What you wrote, you said that America has the worst dating scenes in the world compared to other countries. I agree with that because everywhere you go, you don't see any man going up to a woman and asking them out to date. You don't see any woman seem to be very socially open to want to date. They seem like they want to be left alone, focus on their career and be independent and become masculine like men. I feel like the dating scenes in the US is very bad. That is why they create these dating apps. And that's what makes Americans socially more disconnected, and antisocial
Yeah, and these
compared to the
dating apps, I mean, they're
1970s
all
and
about looks. I mean,
50s.
they're all about
Yeah,
looks, and that's superficial
yeah,
because I
yeah,
mean, these things are trivial, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's all about whether you resonate with them or not.
yeah,
And America is
yeah.
very superficial about looks too. But at the end of the day, I mean,
Right.
you either resonate with them or you don't. But it's if you're not like most people, how are you going to resonate? You know,
Yeah.
with people. I mean, if you think for yourself and you're not a workaholic, you already don't resonate with most people. And you're also supposed to be very politically
Yeah.
correct too. You know, people, most people, I don't know if you notice this, most people in America, they don't like it if you're too honest about everything or deep. They
Ah,
want you to be politically correct about everything. You
right,
know?
right. They want you to say everything, you know, right in their own ways of thinking and view. Because when you say something about against like the government or you compare like different race or you talk about race issue, right? They get offended if you say something wrong and if you say something that they don't agree with you or upon you, they get mad and they want to argue with you, they want to fight you. Yeah, this is how I think Americans are. They get offended if you say something about
Yeah, with me,
political or
they don't
race
even with
problem.
me they don't even
They
get
don't agree.
angry. Most of the time, they just totally ignore me. They don't even want to deal
Mm,
with me. They don't try to debate me or
okay.
argue with me. Most people just ignore me completely. Even most of my
Yeah.
relatives just ignore me. They don't debate me. I mean, they don't. People are not
Mm,
that confrontational nowadays. they're kind of
Yeah.
pussies, so they're not gonna debate you. They're just gonna like walk away and just pretend you don't
Yeah.
exist. Is
Yeah.
people don't start fights anymore like they did in the 80s. If I said taboo
Yeah.
stuff in the 80s, people might get physical more often. But nowadays, it's just
Yeah.
people don't really
Yeah.
fight. They just I don't
Yeah.
know. They're just pretty pussy with.
Yeah, right. You're totally right. I don't even see any masculine men out here walking like they would uh defend and fight for the girlfriends anymore, you know?
Yeah, if you
I
watch
feel like
movies from the 80s, you'll see that people, when they fight, they'll get physical, and the men in the movies of the 80s are more masculine than today.
yeah, I
Today
don't know why
the men are very feminine and kind of they're always apologizing. Have
yeah.
you noticed that when you see a man and a woman
Well,
arguing
you're
on
lagging.
TV today, the
Yeah.
man's always
Yeah, I
apologizing
don't know why
and pushing.
American movies they make it seem like America is such a free socializing country.
Yeah,
Wait, you're
that's kind of
lagging,
a
bro.
mythology. It's a mythology that America's very wild and social and um. But you know that's only in the movies. In real life, you don't see anyone like that.
Yeah, yeah,
But the thing is, you assume it's your fault. You assume that you're just not cool enough to have fun.
yeah,
If you were cool,
yeah,
you would have a good social clique and you would have fun all the time. Every weekend or
yeah,
something, and so you automatically think it must be because I'm a loser.
yeah,
That's what you
yeah.
assume.
I didn't like. I wouldn't want to live a life like that where you think you're a loser. You know, you must have to find a way how to change your life. You know, until I found out about your website, Happy Abroad, it changed my way of thinking. Say,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
if
People
I
don't think
can't
about
do,
that overseas. In Europe,
mhm.
okay, for example, in Europe or Russia, you can go eat alone at a restaurant or go to a movie by
Wow,
yourself. No, nobody looks at you and thinks, "Oh, why is he eating alone? He must be a loser." I mean, people don't think like that. That's not.
yeah,
They're too mature to think like that. That's
yeah,
kind of like a high school. I don't know if you've been to a restaurant by yourself in America. When you go
I have.
to a
I ate
restaurant
at a
alone,
restaurant by
it
myself
feels
a lot of
kind of
times.
weird because nobody goes to a restaurant alone unless they're a truck driver or something passing through.
Yeah,
But you feel kind of
yeah,
weird, like everyone thinks you're a loser or something because
right.
it
It's
just
the
looks
social
weird.
vibe. It's the social vibe in America that if you go out and eat alone, you feel like nobody would accept who you are, or nobody would want to try to invite you to come talk to them or hang out with them and get to know you. You know? Yeah, I get that vibe when I go out alone, eat in a restaurant. I feel like people are very judgmental. You know,
Yeah,
they
you
say,
can
"Hey,
feel it. They're looking at you like
you're
it's
a
odd,
creep or
like
something."
why are you
Yeah,
doing? Or I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe if you were like in New York or something, it would be more
yeah,
normal because
yeah.
in
So
the
many
city,
people
if you're in the big
outside. Yeah,
city, and you're I don't know. Maybe it looks like more normal to be eat alone, but in the suburbs, it looks kind of weird
yeah,
because nobody
yeah.
does
So
that. If you're alone, you're supposed to go to Subway and order a takeout or something.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you're not supposed to eat alone at a restaurant if it looks kind of weird. And so, but the thing is, in other countries, when you do that, it doesn't feel weird. So like in Europe or Russia, you can be alone and not be hanging out with anybody, but you don't
Mhm.
feel like a loser or like you're disconnected or something
Wow.
because
I would
people
love to go to Europe.
it's
I really
really
want to go to
weird.
Europe.
Like yeah,
Yeah,
you sit at a cafe and people don't judge you like that.
I need to experience the life that you experienced, Winston. Going to Europe. I need to go to Europe
It's
really
a very
bad.
different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you see some of my videos, you sort see that too. Like or you know how Americans judge you like like if you don't have something fun to do on the weekend, if you
Hmm.
don't have a party to go to on Friday or Saturday or a group of friends to hang out with, then you look
Right.
like a loser.
right.
I mean, people in other countries don't judge you that way. I mean, they don't judge whether you're a winner or whether you're cool or not by whether you have
Yeah,
some party or fun to go to on Friday or
yeah.
Saturday or something.
Yeah, most Americans don't seem like they don't judge people on their past experiences, like what they done from their past to their present, right? Like,
Yeah, they're
is
not
it true that
curious.
you,
They're not
yeah, they
curious.
don't have any curiosity. They don't. Americans don't have any curiosity about, hey, what has this person been through and what has he done in his past to his present life? I don't know about Europeans. Do they judge people like that? Like they judge people from their experiences instead
No,
of
they
their
like talking
looks?
about travel, because I heard this is true in Australia too, that if an employer knows that you've traveled a lot, they see that as a good thing.
Uh,
Whereas in America, if you tell people that you travel, I mean, they'll think that, oh, you're not committed to your job. You're not a workaholic. You're not supposed to travel a
what?
lot. They don't like people who travel very much. In America, you're
What
supposed
the
to only
heck?
travel once a year and go to Disneyland or some stupid thing like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
or Las Vegas or
I
something.
don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like taking a break from my job and go on a road trip just to go to like from Texas to Louisiana or Texas to New Mexico. It's just so boring. And plus, I don't like driving a lot as well.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like
Well,
I'm
if
more
you're
like,
driving, you have to drive a lot because road
yeah,
trips in America are really long. They take a long time
yeah,
for you to get somewhere.
exactly,
But
exactly.
you
I
have to
feel
be
like,
very introverted. If you like, but the thing is, if you like nature, there's a lot of beautiful nature
yeah,
to
like the
see in
lakes and
America,
park.
and
Yeah,
but you have to be really introverted to enjoy that alone.
yeah,
Because most people can't just travel alone like that. They need someone to be with them. And
yeah.
plus, in America, if you travel alone, you kind of stick out like a sore thumb because nobody does
Yeah.
that. But
I want
you
to
can
live my
you
life
can
like
travel alone in Europe and it's very normal. I mean,
yeah,
people do it all
yeah.
the
I want
time.
to,
If you're
yeah. I
alone
feel like,
traveling in Europe, it's very
yeah,
normal. Everyone does that. In America,
right.
if you don't have somebody, usually they don't travel at all. Nobody does that.
Yeah, yeah. Americans, they seem like they want to travel with a friend or a family member. They don't seem confident to travel alone on like a road trip for
Yeah, I noticed that.
for
I've taken road trips
for a
around
long time.
America, and nobody is really
Mhm.
traveling alone. Really,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
there'll be like a backpacker from Europe or Australia traveling alone, but you don't see a
yeah.
lot of Americans traveling alone.
Hey, one time I went on a 4 hour road trip to go camping around these people, and guess what? When I was traveling alone and camping, I had my own tent, I had my own cooking stove and stuff. I was prepared. I was the only person there camping alone, and I saw other people with family members and friends. I was like, huh, why are they traveling with friends and family, but I don't. I'm not traveling with anybody. I'm just traveling alone. You know.
Yeah, you stick out
You
like a
know.
sore thumb, and people can think that you
Yeah.
must be some creep or pervert or something if you're
Yeah. I felt
alone.
like that. I felt like when I saw this family member camping next to me with the tent, I felt judged. It. I feel like, oh man, what is this dude doing by himself? He must be some type of creep or something,
Or perverts.
or some type of criminal or something. And I say, hey, if they were gonna ask me, are you some type of criminal? Say seriously, you may think I'm some type of criminal, but guess what? I'm not no real criminal.
No, if you were
I'm
a
just
white guy
traveling.
and you were dressed like a hippie, that'd be even worse.
Yeah.
But if you
Huh.
look Asian, people don't think you're a criminal as much. They just think you're some
Yeah.
type of nerd.
Or a foreigner. Foreigner.
Yeah, or they think you're some type of nerd. That because Asians have a. I mean, Asians aren't considered creeps in America. They're kind of considered like some workaholic nerd
Yeah.
at Silicon Valley.
Or
They
foreigner.
probably
Yeah.
think you're kind of nerdy if you're Asian, but they don't usually think of you as a creep. If you were a white
Yeah.
guy, and dressed like a hippie or a bum, they'd
Yeah.
start to be more suspicious or paranoid.
Yeah. No, I wasn't dressed up like a hippie. I dressed up like it was a winter time. It was winter season. I dressed up in jacket. It was like a Nike jacket, and I dressed up like I was an Americanized. I wasn't dressed up like a foreigner, like
Yeah.
those yeah.
But when you travel alone in the U.S., it feels like you stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you're a sore thumb sticking out,
yeah.
like kind of
And it doesn't
unusual.
even feel.
Unusual.
I don't know why. Yeah, it doesn't even feel comfortable traveling alone on a road trip in America. It don't. It doesn't feel comfortable at all. I feel like if you go on a road trip, what happens when your car breaks down? Who's gonna help you?
Well, then you would call for a tow truck, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
you gotta have before you go on a road trip, you gotta have your car inspected by a mechanic
yeah.
to make sure it's not gonna break down in the middle of nowhere.
Right,
I
right.
mean,
No, but I don't like driving uh, for more than 2 hours at all. I feel like I want to live like a European lifestyle where you walk to
yeah,
the
but there's
train.
no scenery in Texas. If you were driving
Yeah,
around Arizona, there'd be a lot of beautiful scenery you could see.
yeah.
But I
But
heard
it's too hot there.
In Texas,
It's
there's
too
no
hot there.
scenery. There's no
Yeah, but
natural scenery in Texas to look at. Everyone
yeah,
says it's just a flat land or something.
yeah. It
It's
is. It
just
is.
if you were like in
Arizona is too hot.
Colorado or something, it'd be beautiful. You could drive a lot longer
Yeah.
or something.
I went up there before. Colorado has a lot of beautiful mountains. Yeah,
Yeah, then you would enjoy that. There's fresh air. You could take a lot of pictures and
yeah, yeah. I have
enjoy
another
hot
question.
springs and stuff. I mean,
Yeah, I have another question. Um, yeah, well, why does the U.S. have a higher rate of prisoners in the world? And also
oh,
like,
that yeah. Um, well, the prison industry in the U.S. is like a business.
right, right.
So when something is a business, they want more and more prisoners so that they'll get more money. So
What you want? That's how they get more money by
well,
putting
yeah,
more
I mean,
people
the
in
prison industry
prison.
is a lobby, it's a business.
That
So
is
in order
ridiculous.
for them to profit, they have to get more prisoners. So,
Yeah,
so,
I noticed about this.
so
Is that
they're
if
looking for little excuses to keep more people in jail. And so I heard most
yeah,
people in jail are not there for felonies or something important. They're there
yeah,
for small stuff like drugs or something. I mean, it's very minor stuff.
yeah,
Um, that's what I heard.
ridiculous. And what I realized and learned is that the social culture in America is all about doing business. And then I thought to myself, if the social culture is all about doing business in America, how is America a truly free or land of the free country? It's just a
Yeah, but they
business
define freedom
country.
as the freedom to vote or the freedom to work.
That don't
That's how they
that to me is
defined
not
it.
a true
It
freedom
means you're
there.
free to go out and get a job and you're free to vote.
Yeah,
That's how they define
yeah.
freedom. It's not being free to do whatever you want or be yourself or to go out and talk to people or flirt with girls. I mean,
No,
that
no.
they never talk about that.
That's weird because I do not have the same views of feeling free and looking at freedom the same as Americans. They define, as you said, freedom to vote and freedom to own guns and have a job. But to me, I feel like freedom should be truly finding your true passion of what you love to do and what you want to do. You know?
Yeah, and when they I mean they never have evidence for why America is a free country.
Right, right.
They only have one example they always give, and that example is they'll compare America to China or North Korea, and they'll say, hey,
Yeah.
look, you can't vote or protest against the government in North
That's
Korea or
the only thing
China.
they say about. That's the only
But
thing
you can
Americans
protest
say
against the
about.
government in America. So see, we have freedom here, and in China you can't protest, so there's no freedom. That's the only example they ever give. They never have any
Yeah,
examples of how you're free in
yeah,
America, and
yeah,
that example is useless because you know, like we said, going out and protesting doesn't change anything.
yeah,
It doesn't make you free just because you can protest.
yeah,
It's kind of dumb. It's a dumb example.
yeah.
You know, it's
And And what I was about to say something. Yeah, I don't know why. There's a difference between what Americans claim America to be, and there's a difference between what America it is as a reality. The reality is America is not a true free country. It's a myth. It's a lie. It's an illusion. It's only a business friendly country. It's all about business. There's no real social, authentic culture here in America. Even in America, they don't have any more cowboy western type of culture much anymore. It's more like a hype hip hop rap music culture. I feel like, and culture where you buy a whole bunch of try to buy a whole bunch of nice cars, clothes. I'm not into all that. You see, I'm more to like the historical, ancient, traditional culture, like the European culture and Chinese culture. They've been having like thousands of a year culture of history, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like all the culture you see in America is just in the movies.
Yeah,
It's not in real
exactly.
life.
Exactly. And everything and young Americans nowadays, they get so hyped up into like the movie culture type of type of living. They see all these superhero movies. They're living in like the fantasy world, you know. They're not living in the reality world, you know, of the social uh, culture. Yeah, American culture is so much now like a movie, living in the movies culture, not the reality culture. So it's like everyone is living in the fantasy world, you know.
Yeah, like someone said, it's all flash, no substance.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
flash, but no substance. You go
and
to
I don't.
Germany and people don't like flash; they like substance. I heard.
Yeah,
In Europe, they
yeah,
like substance; they don't like flash.
yeah, yeah, and I noticed that in the U.S., you know, more and more youngsters, for some reason, they're getting locked up in jail more. You look up these videos in the U.S. where these young teenagers they get sent to jail in the U.S. more. Um, it's ridiculous. I don't know why, and that tells me there that how can America be the best country in the world if millions of Americans of young teenagers to young adults are getting locked up in jail for like hundreds of years until they die. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well,
And
they
I don't
have
want
to
to live
have
in a
some
country like
excuse.
that.
They have to have some excuse to put you in jail.
Yeah,
They can't just put you in jail for nothing. I mean, it could be
yeah,
something very
exactly.
minor or something. But
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I haven't studied the prison stuff in jail
yeah,
very much
yeah,
because
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I wouldn't want to live in a
I'm
country
not a
like
criminal.
that.
I don't do bad things, so I don't know
Yeah,
about that
yeah.
world.
No, I don't do bad things as well. I just don't know why every year, each month, more young Americans are getting locked up in jail. It's ridiculous. But for fact, they do something bad and
Well, I
illegally or
think it's
something.
mostly for like drugs or something, or
Yeah,
I don't think it's because of violence or
yeah,
theft or shoplifting or something. It's
yeah. No, some of them are like
probably to avoid
murders. I
drugs or
think.
something.
Yeah, some of them are murders. I think. Um,
But yeah,
yeah,
three million is a lot of people. I don't. I thought the prison population was 2 million. I didn't know it was three.
yeah. Well, it's gonna get close to 3 million if more increase each year. You know. Yeah, it's even possible that the prison rate in the U.S. can increase up to 5 million because I mean, each year I see these on the news. It's ridiculous that so many more young Americans are getting locked up in jail because they do all these crazy, insane stuff. You know, and it's really ridiculous. I don't want to live in a country like that. You know, um, I don't know. Um,
Yeah, well, I mean the laws are very strict, so
yeah.
um,
Yeah, one time I stopped at the stop sign for a couple of seconds, for like 5 or 10 seconds, and I was in a little rush to go pray at a temple. And then after I got out of the temple, this cop gave me a ticket. Say he pulled me over. He said, "Oh, I saw you run over the stop sign." I said, "Well, I was in a little rush trying to go to a temple to go pray, but they kept closing on me. They kept closing the gate, and this cop
Did
he
you
gave
did
me a
you really
ticket."
run over the stop sign? Or?
No, I stopped for a couple of seconds. I didn't
Well,
like
then
fully stop,
technically that's okay if you stop for even
Mm,
1 second.
yeah, it's ridiculous. That's how the strict. That's
Well,
how
maybe he
strict
had a
the
quota.
rules
Some
are.
some
Yeah,
cops they have to have a quota of tickets that they have to give, so
yeah,
they just make up some reason to give it to you. But
yeah. And it was a white cop. I felt like he was racially profiling me because he was like a small town royal, you know, redneck, you know, country cop living in a small town, and I was Asian. He wrote me down as an Asian person and stuff like that. And he probably want money. He probably want money. They bored. These cops are bored. They want to do something crazy. I
well, they
think
don't get
American
money for
cops.
writing you a ticket, but they have a quota.
Yeah,
They have a quota of how many tickets they have to give. It's kind
yeah.
of
I think
stupid.
American cops, when they get bored, they want to bully and harass or try to make up an excuse to mess with somebody in America. Yeah. I think American cops are even worse than cops in Latin America, Europe. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't deal with cops very often. I mean, I don't
No, no, me
get stopped
either.
by cops.
Me
I've
either.
never
I
been
just see.
harassed by cops in America
Yeah.
very often. I got stopped a few times in California, but that was it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, the cops in most countries, even in China, they're pretty laid back, and
Wow.
if you just talk to them like a friend, they'll let you go.
Yeah. Man,
They don't act
the
like
thing is,
really macho or tough or something to
yeah,
get in
like
your face.
uptight and serious all the time. Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
plus
see,
you
some
can't even
American
joke.
cops they look like they're looking for a fight or something.
Yeah, and plus the problem that what I don't like about American cops is that you can't even joke with them. Like they can't even take a joke. Like you trying to do like a prank or a joke on them, they wouldn't even laugh. They would try to like arrest you. You know, if I said like I brought some nunchucks because nunchucks are illegal to carry around as a weapon in the U.S., I say, hey officer, I got some nunchucks. Want me to show you it? He would arrest me. He say that's illegal, man. You can't be bringing that here. This illegal weapon. He say, are you serious? It's just a nunchuck. But if I brought it to like Japan or maybe Europe or Vietnam or China, they wouldn't arrest me for that. You see, they wouldn't. You know, they can't
Yeah,
even
it
take a
looks like
joke.
they're kind of like fishing for some excuse
Yeah,
to use against you. Like anything you say is
yeah.
going to be used against you.
And
It's
plus,
very
they work
negative.
under the government, so they have to follow the government laws. You know, and my dad wants me to be a cop, but I don't want to be a cop because I don't want to be blending like those white cops. I want to be myself. I want to live abroad because I say I was inspired by Winston Wu. He's like my legendary folklore hero. He's like my curing mental doctor.
That's funny.
I even put up a picture of you on my wall. He said, "So, what are you doing with Winston Wu on your wall?" I said, "Well, he's my idol. He's my idol." Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's
I
funny. A lot
even.
of people. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I even found a way how to customize a shirt from the website called happierabroad.com by Winston Wu. It's a customized shirt, word on it. I'm gonna order it. I don't know when, but I'm gonna order it soon. Yeah, question.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
should
question
sell
number
T-shirts
6.
someday,
Yeah, yeah. Question
and
number
maybe
6 I
bumper
have is
stickers too, bumper stickers and stuff, and pins and
yeah,
patches. It's be funny.
yeah. I
Oh,
should I
what?
should do that. Happyabroad.com by Winston Wu. Put it in my back car. And if any random guy asks me,
Yeah,
hey,
but
what is this website? Happyabroad.com means. I said, well, it's a website. If you're a misfit, you're a loner, you have trouble making friends or having serious trouble dating women, you could go on this website and change your life. in a couple months and buy yourself a plane ticket, man, and go and change your life abroad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
number
stuff I
six.
say is probably really taboo.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a question number six. How easy is it and how hard is it from moving from the US to living abroad? Because I I want to live abroad at least 3 more years, 3 more years. When I'm 24, yeah, like like buying a plane ticket to able to bring your stuff. I know how to buy a plane ticket like you can buy on your phone or your computer. But how easy it is and how hard it is from moving from the U.S. to live abroad. That's question number six.
Well, it's in a way it's easy, but in a way it's hard because anybody with a credit card can go on the internet and buy a plane ticket in 5 minutes.
Mm.
You can buy a plane ticket to Asia in 5 minutes on with a credit card or something.
Mm.
But the thing is, to live abroad, there's two ways you can do it. There's one way is to plan everything,
Yeah,
like
and that's what I
most
did. I
Americans
wrote
would.
everything.
But the thing is,
I,
most things don't go according to plan. So, what's the point of planning too much? For me, I like to have a basic plan, but I have to keep it flexible because most things in life don't go according to plan. There's a saying that life is what happens when you're making other plans, but there's some people that don't plan anything. They're very adventurous. They just wing it. Like they'll show up in another country with no reservations, no
Mhm.
plan, no map, but they can get by. They just ask someone to help them, or they just follow their spirit. They kind of have faith in the
Yeah,
universe. Some hippies
yeah,
are like that. They have faith in the universe, so they just show up,
yeah,
and then they'll find they wing it. They wing it. Some people can do that. Not everybody,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's easier than you think. You just have to let go of all your attachments and obligations. But that's not easy
yeah.
because most people can't do that. That they're in a mental prison. They think I have to do this. I have to pay this house. I have to work. I have to. You know. A lot of your prison is mental. If you think about it,
Yeah,
the
I
government doesn't
agree.
the government doesn't have a chain around you. It's not really controlling you. What's controlling you
Right,
is
right,
your demons, your mind, your attachments.
right, right. I
If you
agree
just
with
let
you.
go of everything, if you like in the movie The Matrix, if you just let
Yeah,
go of the whole matrix and say, I don't
right.
care about my job, I don't care about my social status, I don't care about my obligations. If you
Hmm.
just let all of that go, that's a huge burden gone right there.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, um, and there's people that are really adventurous,
yeah.
I've known people who just hitchhike everywhere, and they don't spend any money, they just hitchhike. And the thing is, it sounds really dangerous, but if you know how to do it, it can be very adventurous and fun, and you can travel without
Yeah.
spending money. There's people that do that and they get away with it. So it's not as hard as you
Wow.
think. And I knew this guy a long time ago who he rode a bicycle around Asia. Like he went to
Wow.
Cambodia, and he would have a bicycle and ride around. And he said it's a lot easier than you think. You don't have to pay for any gas or transportation, and you just
Wow.
ride a bike
Nice.
everywhere. And
Uh-huh.
he knew these Buddhist monks that would let him stay for free. They would give him food and shelter, and he would teach them English or something.
Nice.
And so he had a really good time doing that. So there's ways you can travel with very little money if
Yeah.
you just have to be really adventurous
Yeah. You don't.
and let
Yeah.
go.
You don't need to
You
be a
have to be brave.
millionaire to
You
travel.
can't live in fear all the time or worry all the time.
Mm.
So a lot of things are like that. They're easier than you think, but you just
Yeah.
have to let go of this need to plan and control everything. You see,
Yeah.
most people they feel like they have to plan everything and control everything, and now that's kind of like an inner demon. There's a
Yeah.
philosopher called I think it's Jean Paul Sartre, Satre, Sartre, Jean-Paul Sartre or something.
Yeah.
And he talked about this. He said that people are more free than they think they are.
Yeah.
Like for example, everyone thinks they have to hold a job in order to make a living, and they're stuck at this
Hmm.
job and they can't do anything else. But the thing is, if you
Right.
really believe, if you let go of that and really believe that you're free, you can just let go of it and not do it and just do something else. So you have more
Yeah.
freedom than you think.
Yeah.
Even if you have bills to pay, I mean, if you just let go out of it, I mean, what are they going to do? They're not going to put a chain around you. Then, as
Right.
long as you don't break any laws, the government isn't going to bother you. They don't stick their nose in your life as
Right.
long as you
Right.
don't as long as you don't get in the way of the government or business interests or powerful people. They'll leave you alone usually
Right.
as long as
Right.
you stay out of trouble. If you just do your own thing and you don't make trouble, usually they'll just people will leave you alone, and so you can do what you want. You just have to let go of everything and not try to try to conform. If you don't need to conform and you don't care what other people think, even if everyone thinks you're a loser, if you don't care, then you're truly free because you've let go of all these attachments. Like if you study Buddhism or Zen, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. I studied Buddhism before.
Or Zen, yeah, it's like they have a simple rule in Zen: no problem, no mind. I mean, no
Yeah.
mind, no problem. Yeah. So it's saying that if you don't think about it, then it's not a problem. If
Yeah.
the problem is not in your mind, then it's not there. I mean, there's a very simple saying in Zen: no mind, no problem. Like if it's
Yeah.
not in your mind, then it's not a problem. If you don't
Yeah.
think about it, it's not. It's gone. The problem. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah. I'm trying to get this certificate so I can live abroad. In the future. Because I don't know what else other way I can do to live abroad without being a teacher. You know,
yeah,
to
yeah, well, yeah.
live
You could teach
abroad.
English, and I mean, in Asia, there's always that opportunity to teach English.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's always.
Yeah. I'm trying to live. Yeah. I was trying. I'm trying to live in Europe, but I don't know if it's gonna work out. I mean, it can possibly work out. It can. I believe it can work out. You know.
Well,
Um,
you can teach English in Europe too. I mean, it's just there's
yeah.
probably less opportunity
Yeah.
to do so, but it's
Yeah.
possible. There's people that do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, if you have a TEFL degree or something, it'll help a lot because then
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
certified.
I'm on this TFL Academy online course program. It has thousands of students who want to live abroad. I read up these students. They want to like they say they want to live in Asia, like Korea or Japan or Taiwan or Vietnam. Yeah, that's the where they want to live. Uh, but I'm curious about Europe. I grew up around Asian culture, and Asian culture is very strict on wanting to go to the top university or college or having good grades, working hard to make a lot of money, buying nice cars, materialistic. That's
Yeah,
the Asian
Asia's very
culture.
materialistic. That's what I don't like.
Yeah,
It's too
yeah,
materialistic and too practical. It's
right,
not
right,
romantic like Europe is or something.
right. I'm more
That's
of
the
a
problem, you know. But
romantic
Asian
guy.
women more like feminine. They're more
Yeah,
attractive and feminine.
yeah,
But they're just way too materialistic. I mean,
yeah,
you can't. Oh, you also can't have like a lot of intellectual conversation in Asia.
right,
You know
right.
that because people. I heard this about Vietnam too. That people are kind of narrow-minded and they're too materialistic. So you're
Uh,
not going to have a deep conversation with people in Vietnam.
yeah,
Even if it's a
yeah,
nice life and there's low cost of living, you're not going to find someone to have a deep conversation with. I mean, people are just not deep. It's easier
yeah,
to find that in Europe because in Europe people are more like intelligent and they have deep. I mean, they're more broad-minded. They know a lot
yeah,
of cultures, so they can have a deeper conversation. But it doesn't mean they can talk about philosophy or something. It just
yeah.
means they're more like broad-minded and can talk about different
Mhm.
subjects. So
So
yeah,
Europeans
Europe
are
is
way
a lot
more.
better for like stimulating conversation, but Asia is not really
So
good for that
yeah.
because
So Europeans are way more open-minded and curious about different cultures, and they're more romantic, as you say.
yeah, the culture is more romantic and the architecture, it's more
Right.
soulful, and so you can
Yeah.
feel romantic like in European architecture, like in the old town. Even if
Yeah.
you don't have a girlfriend or have a date, you can still feel a sense of
Yeah.
romanticism or soulfulness.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. My dad, he's super materialistic. He buys so much brand name clothes. I'm not into that. I
no,
like to wear clothes with no brand on it. I have very less clothes. I only have 4 pairs of shoes. My dad has like 10 pairs of shoes of Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Nike, Air Jordans. I'm not into that.
yeah,
I'm the
that's really
opposite.
materialistic, and plus, it's kind of like insecure in a certain way because
Yeah,
it's
you
like
feel
they
like
need something to make themselves feel better. It's kind of
yeah,
insecure. It's not
yeah,
like genuine.
yeah. Life in America is so empty for people. It's to the point that when they feel empty, they feel like they need to keep on buying more material stuff to feel good or something. Yeah. How about you? How many pairs of clothes do you have? How many
Oh,
shirts and pants?
enough, I guess. I mean,
Uh,
um, yeah, I guess enough. I mean, I buy clothes sometimes too, but I don't need to get designer clothes. I just get stuff
yeah,
that's cheap. It doesn't really matter to me.
yeah, yeah.
As long as it looks clean and neat, it doesn't really matter.
Right, right, right. How many
I'm kind
pairs
of
of
like
shoes
you,
do you
just
have?
a polo shirt and slacks and jeans and um, as long as you look healthy and you're thin, I mean, you can look good in any
Right,
kind of clothes. You
right,
know, the problem is, once you get overweight, not everything looks good on you anymore, like when
right,
you're thin,
right.
But if yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah. You don't want to
yeah, but
wear clothes too
the
tight.
thing is, those things don't matter. If someone really likes you, they don't care about your clothes or your car or something. I mean, that's
No,
just
no, you're right. Right.
yeah. If someone cares about that I mean, that's not a true friend. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really worth. It's not good quality
Yeah,
people.
my all my friends back in high school, they judge me on what car I drive, what clothes I wore. I just wear like plain t-shirts in high school and jeans, and I drove a Honda, and while they drive a better car than me, you know, yeah, and they judged me based on that, and they didn't like man, you don't have nice cars like us. See that the Americans right there, they judge people a lot on based on looks all the time. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they don't.
Um,
I mean, the judge thing is a sport, but what they don't like is if you're not trying to fit in and you don't care,
yeah.
that's then you're a threat to them. That's what they
Yeah.
don't like.
No, yeah. I
Once you
didn't
don't
really
give a
care
shit,
about
then you're a threat because you're not conforming like everyone else. You're not.
right. I didn't no, actually I didn't give a shit at all about trying to fit in these stupid, dumb, fake friends type of clique. They didn't really care about me. They wanted to make fun of me, and that's what they were doing. They would make fun of me back in high school. Say, hey, look at this cheap right here. He came from China. And I got one guy say, hey, we hate the Chinese. Yeah. See,
Wait, you mean they do that in Texas or in California?
it's in Texas. It's in Texas.
Oh, okay, because they wouldn't say racist things in California. That's great. It
Yeah.
might.
I mean, I was okay. I was born in California in Chinatown, San Francisco, but I didn't live there very long. I moved out of there when I was like 3 years old, and then I came living here in Houston, Texas, when I was a young kid, young child. But my parents got into the divorce. Yeah, when I was 4 years old, they got in a divorce. It was a bad divorce. And plus, getting married in the U.S. now is a business thing. You know, it's not so much about real love, no real romance anymore. It's all about that money. You know, women here want men with money, and that's what I don't like about women in America. They just want men with a lot of money. You know, it's like they're a prostitute. You know, they're looking for men with a lot of money to sleep around and live with. You know, I feel like I don't know. That's what I feel like. Yeah,
Yeah, I
number
know what you
seven.
mean. I mean,
Yeah, I got question number seven. It's a good question. It's time to talk about women. You know, we talk so much about culture, different foods, and uh, materialistic stuff, and problems in America, and prisoners. It's time to talk about women. You know, you're the woman expert, Winston. You mean American woman to foreign woman to European woman to Asian woman to Latin American woman. Yeah. Okay. Now my question number seven is what has happened? What has happened to American women? Why does it seem like American women seem to be super picky and judgmental of which men they want to date and not date?
well, I think there's a combination of things. I mean, there's third wave feminism, and then there's just a degenerate culture in America, and too much selfishness, and
Right, right.
when you give them too much power, they abuse it. But but I don't. But I think those are just trivial things. It's just the consciousness. It's just degenerated. It's just
Right.
what it's cultures go up and down, and so we're kind of in a down cycle where people just don't have any good morals or values. It's just everything is about themselves, and um, yeah, and they're given so much power that they don't need men. So once they don't need
Yeah,
men, they're going to be super picky and say, well, I only need the best of the best.
yeah.
And
I feel like American women, if when I feel like American women, they think that they're living in this Hollywood fantasy movie that they think that they should only get the top best men, like the richest man, who is tall, handsome, who drive a nice car, who have a nice house. That's what I think American women are living in. They're living in this Hollywood type of movie life. You know,
yeah,
they
some
don't
are, but
want
the
to
thing
face
is,
the
they
reality.
just don't need a man. That's the problem. They don't need men,
Yeah,
and they don't
yeah,
like men very much either. So
exactly,
so so
exactly.
even as a friend, they're just not very curious. They're not
Yeah.
curious. They're not very social.
Right,
Plus, once they become masculine, then their personality becomes weird and upside down.
right.
You kind of have to be a real bad boy or something, or
Yeah, like a
to
gangster or
be
something.
interesting.
Yeah,
In Russia, it's the opposite. In Russia, it's the opposite. If you're a nice guy in Russia, you stand out.
mm-hmm.
You're refreshing, because bad
Yeah.
boys there are like a dime a dozen. But in America, it's
Oh,
the opposite. If you're a nice guy, you're pretty much a dime a dozen. You're nothing interesting. You kind of have to be
oh
be a
man.
bad boy to stand out, to be interesting. In Russia,
Yeah,
it's the
well, I'm the
opposite.
nice. Yeah, I'm the nice guy. I don't dress up like a bad boy type. You know, I don't sag my pants. I don't wear gold chains. I don't have tattoos all over my body. I mean, I have one tattoo, but I don't have tattoos all over my body, and I'm not into having uh the gangster bad boy type of look on me. You know, I like dressing like a gentleman. You know,
Yeah, the thing
or
is,
like a regular
it's funny
style.
because in Russia or Latin America, when you're a nice guy, you stand out
Yeah.
because you're refreshing. Because a lot of guys are not that nice there in other
That's
countries.
that's
So
that's strange.
you become different, refreshing. So the women actually appreciate that when you're very gentlemanly and civilized, because they're not used to that. You
Yeah,
know,
that's bizarre.
so it's the opposite
Oh,
of
oh,
America. It's
man, that's weird. I like that. I like you told me that. I would love to go there one day. I need to go. I need to pack up my
but
clothes
you
and
went to Costa
go.
Rica.
Go.
You went to Costa Rica or something, so you've experienced some of that, right?
Yeah. No, no, women in the Caribbean countries, they were very nice and feminine. There was one beautiful girl in I forgot which country it was. It was Honduras in South Mexico. There was this girl asking me if she wanna give me a back massage, you know, for for free or something, or for money or something. Yeah. Um, yeah, I never experienced any woman show me interest when I act like a nice, respectful, gentleman. They don't like that. I don't know. I never got any of their interest. Yeah, I think you're right. They like the bad boy type. They like the guy who I don't know, picks on them or something. Call them, you know, names. Like they probably like it when a guy calls, "Hey, come here, you're my bitch."
Yeah, or something like that, or just interesting, or,
uh,
or or some guy that doesn't need them.
yeah.
But another thing I've noticed is that, people in America, people like extremes. Like they don't like it if you're
Mm,
well-rounded and balanced. Like you're not a total nice guy, but you're not a total bad boy. You're kind of like, a balance
yeah.
between. They don't like that. They want some guy who's really either really beta and weak, or someone who's a
Mm,
really douchebag. They like extremes. You know
yeah.
how in the movies it's kind of like that too. Everyone is an extreme character of some kind. No
Yeah.
one, no one is
Like they
a
got the
healthy balance in the middle.
yeah, movies nowadays they want to make the guy look super bad. Like he came out of prison, he killed a
Yeah,
lot
or
of people, he
super weak,
robbed
or
stuff or something
super
like that.
funny. You're super funny, or you're
Yeah.
super stupid, or you're super nerdy. They want you to be some
Yeah.
type of extreme. They don't want you to be a healthy,
Yeah.
well-rounded guy. It's it's like, but Buddhism says, you to be a healthy person, you got to walk the middle way, not on
Mhm.
one extreme or the other. So
Right,
if you
right.
study Buddhism, you know that the key to a good, healthy life is to be in the middle, not on one extreme or another. You be healthy and well-rounded in the center, everything in moderation. That's how a wise person lives. But
Right,
they don't like that in America. They want you to be extreme in some way to be interesting.
right.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, right.
You could be an extreme nerdy, nerdy or geeky guy, and you'd be more interesting than someone that's in the middle.
Right.
It's really weird.
Wow, so you can balance yourself um in other countries. Like you could be a nice guy, and then you could be the funny guy, and then you could be the guy who's the nerdy guy into reading books. You could be the guy who's a sporty guy, like you get into sports or something like that. But in America, people only judge you based on one thing, right? Or what? Like one type of characteristic, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be extremes in some way to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in high school. You have to be a certain type to fit into a certain clique. Like a jock,
Yeah.
or a goth, or a mod, or a
Yeah.
nerd clique. You have to fit into a certain clique. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you don't have a clique in high school.
Yeah.
If you don't fit into any group, you don't have a place. You don't
Yeah.
have a role. I don't know. I mean, I've never been
Yeah.
somebody that fits into a certain stereotype.
Yeah.
Because I've always been like a balanced person that likes a little bit of everything. I'm not like super nice, or an asshole. I'm kind of like a healthy balance. Between.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be too nice and too mean. You want to be balanced, like you said. Yeah. I'm not too nice either. I try not to be too nice with people because being too nice, you can be taken advantage of, over, and
Yeah,
plus
but there's a difference
anybody.
between being polite and being nice. When people say you're nice in America, it means you're kind of weak. That's what they
Ah,
mean. They kind of mean like you're too soft and weak. They don't mean like you're too polite. Because if you were a waiter in a
oh,
restaurant, and you were nice to all the customers, everyone would say, "Oh,
yeah,
that's good customer service." Nobody's gonna
yeah,
say that's bad. That's gonna be a good. You'll get more tips if you're nice as a waiter
yeah,
or your customer service. So it's not that being nice is bad. They just say that to try to make you look weak. It's a shaming tactic to bring you down.
yeah,
So they
yeah,
don't like it if you're nice socially, but if you're at work in customer service or you're working in a restaurant, then they'll like it if you're nice because
yeah,
that's good customer service. So
yeah.
there's nothing wrong
Well,
with being nice. It's just
yeah.
when people say you're too nice, it's a shame. It's a way to shame you to bring you down.
I agree with
It's
you. You know
stupid.
what? When I'm nice to people, like if even if I'm not working as a employee, I am polite as well. But when I'm nice, you know, out in public socially, yeah, I feel like man, people would not seem to I don't know
Like
how
you
to
have no
put
value
it.
if you're nice. There's no benefit in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look for.
Unless
They
you're in
don't look
customer
up to
service,
you.
there's no benefit.
They don't admire you if you act too nice out in
It's
public
almost like a
socially in
negative. It's
America.
an it's an insult
Yeah.
to be called nice in America.
Huh.
But in the Philippines, where I lived for many years, you can be as nice as you want. Nobody will ever hold it against you.
Wow.
I mean, that's a positive thing to be nice in the Philippines. Nobody will ever see that as something negative. I mean, it's very
Wow.
simple. If you're nice to people, they're nice to you. I mean, it's very simple.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing can go
I
wrong.
don't.
But
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why Americans are so judgmental against nice. I'm talking about American women. I don't know why American women they're so judgmental against the nice guy. They think that guy sometimes uh aren't strong enough to protect them or something. You know, they think that they're not
no, I
strong
don't
enough
think
to
so. That's
fight
just an excuse
for
because
them or
if
something.
an American woman really likes you and she thinks you're her man, I
Hmm.
mean, she'll love it if you're nice to her. It's only when they want to
Yeah,
reject you that they use that against you.
yeah,
That's what I noticed. If someone doesn't like you, they'll use the niceness against you. But if somebody really likes you, they're not going to use your niceness against you.
yeah.
It's only when
I
they're
had one
looking
girl
for a
that did that
reason
to me.
to justify their hatred of you that they're going to say that you're too nice or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
So it's just a shaming tactic.
yeah. I feel like that in American culture. I feel like American culture, you have to like turn your nice guy into the bad boy gangster type, and I'm not into that. You know, and and plus nowadays so many uh I don't know why, but in American culture, people are so obsessed with looking like those guys in those rap music, you know, and they think these young American guys think that that's what girls want, that's what girls like. They like guys that look like a gangster type of rap, type of hip hop guy from those rap music, you know. You know, they think that they have to go wear gold chains and buy these expensive rings, gold rings. They think that they had to go get a whole bunch of stupid, uh, you know, these stupid, random, meaningless, you know, you know, tattoos all over their bodies just to, you know, get girls, and that's ridiculous. You know, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that
Um,
doesn't last
yeah,
long
I'm not
too.
into all that.
Even if
I'm
you
not into
attract
all that.
attract
Yeah,
girls that way, I mean, those type of relations don't last very long. It's just
yeah,
superficial.
right, right, right. Um, yeah, I'm not into all that, gold chains and trying to look like a gangster. I'm not into getting all that, all that whole bunch of tattoo stuff. You know. Um, that's just
Yeah.
I don't know. That's part of the American culture of the trend nowadays, and I don't fit in well with that. I'm more into the European culture because I like how the European men they dress up with like nice suits and stuff like that. I like that. I
Well,
like
yeah,
that old
America was like that
fashioned.
too in the '60s. In the 1960s,
Yeah.
when you went out, you dressed really nice with suit
Right.
and stuff,
Right.
very formal.
Yeah.
In the '50s and
Yeah.
'60s, it was like that too. It was like Europe more.
Yeah.
Before it
But don't
became
in Europe
degenerate. But
yeah,
the
but
bottom
don't in
line is
Europe
is it doesn't matter how you try to act or be. I mean, in order to have a social
yeah.
life in America, you have to be part of a clique. You have to join a clique.
Yeah, I don't have, like
That's
I
the
said, I
thing.
don't have
If
any
you don't have
clique.
a clique, you don't have a social life. It doesn't matter how nice you are, or bad, or good,
Yeah,
or bad boy, or whatever. I mean, if you don't have a clique, you don't have a social life.
yeah.
In other
I don't have a
countries, it's
clique.
not. In other countries, it's not like that. You can you don't need a clique. You can meet people and make friends a lot easier. You know,
Nice.
without
Wow.
not in every country though. I mean, but in most countries.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for anyone who's listening to this, if you have a life where you don't have a good clique, you don't have any good social romance dating life, like me myself, I think we should. I think we as men, as lonely, dateless men, should go abroad. Yeah, um, in a serious way. I don't have a clique. I thought that my life would change when I became a Muslim because because hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh yeah, I was trying to get back to the background screen. Yeah, I thought my life would change when I became a Muslim because I thought that I would have make close, real connection of clique of friends. I made a few friends through there, but I still didn't felt the way that I wanted to be felt. To have a close clique of
You mean
connection
you
of
joined a
friends.
mosque in
Yeah,
Islam,
mosque.
or? Oh well,
Yes,
isn't it
yes.
mostly full of Arab people, or?
Yeah, it's no Asians, no Vietnamese, no Chinese, no
Because Arabs are
Koreans.
usually more down to earth. I
They
mean, they're
are,
not as
they
fake.
are,
They're not as fake
they are.
as white Americans. Um,
Yeah, no, they are.
but the
I mean,
thing
a
is,
lot of
when you're in a religion like a church, for example, those people,
yeah,
I mean, they're not your real friends. They're just pretending. I mean, they're just being polite because they have to, in the
yeah,
church or a mosque.
yeah,
That's not a real friendship. They're just pretending to be nice
yeah,
because they have to be nice in the church.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
I feel like that's not
sometimes you can
even.
make friends there, but it depends. I
Yeah,
mean, there still has to be a connection or a resonance. You still
yeah,
have to have something in common. You have to,
yeah,
like birds of a same feather flock together. They
yeah,
have to be like you in a certain way. They have to be very similar to you at some level. They can't just You can't just be friends with a random person if you have nothing in common.
right,
So it's
right,
possible to make friends at a church or a mosque, but you have to have stuff in common, to create a
right,
connection. It's, you
right,
know, especially in America because there's no curiosity. If you were in another
right.
country, there might be more curiosity, and they might want to learn
Yeah,
something from you. And the
right.
French that kind of friendship, even in Europe, most of your friends can still be superficial. And
Mm,
they're not. It doesn't mean that they're going to be deep friendships. They might be superficial, but the
yeah,
thing is, even if the friendships are superficial in Europe, they still feel more natural. There's still more of a
yeah,
like a positive exchange.
right.
It's not
Yeah,
pretentious. It's not as pretentious. They don't. You don't have to be full of BS or something, or
yeah,
try to be something you're not. It's still a more authentic friendship, even if it's very superficial. It's still more authentic than what you
right.
get in America. So that's the difference. I mean, most people you meet in your life are not going to be close friends. They're just going to be
Yeah,
acquaintances or maybe casual friends. But
yeah. Yeah, I feel
but the
like
interaction is
even
more
though,
authentic still. It's still more genuine, even
yeah,
if it's superficial. It's still a more genuine feeling. Like it's authentic.
uh-huh,
It doesn't feel
yeah. Even when
fake
I
or
went to
awkward. Yeah.
yeah, even when I went to a Catholic church, I did not have any social connection of trying to make friends there at all. I just came there and prayed. That's what all happens one time. Nothing happened. Like, I just went to go church. Um, I did try to make friends, but I wasn't able to because everybody just go to church to pray. Even at a
Oh, I don't
Buddhist
think
temple,
Catholic
even
churches are. It's kind of like it's kind of like they just go there and have a mass or something. They don't
Yeah,
they don't really like have a youth group or something.
yeah,
Like when you're in an evangelical church, there's a youth group where you can meet people and stuff. They don't
yeah.
seem to have that at Catholic churches. It just seems like a formality. But it depends. There's some Catholic churches that are really nice. It depends on who shows up.
Yeah.
When I was a
And
kid, the Catholic Church could be really friendly and warm, and um, but this is back in the '80s. I
mhm.
think after the
Yeah,
'80s, churches didn't become that friendly anymore.
yeah. Even the Buddhist temple. Um, when I go to Buddhist temple, every time I go Buddhist temple, I feel like people there were very cliquish and uh isolated from other people. Even strangers don't even say hi to each other. They just look down, look away, like you're like a some type of unknown creep or something, unknown person
But well, yeah,
in
but
a
most
Buddhist
most
temple.
Asians, when they go to a temple, they're not there
Yeah,
trying to be spiritual. I think they're just trying to get some blessing or some good fortune. That they're praying to God, for selfish reasons, like they want more
yeah.
money or health or something. They're looking for some blessing. They're not there to try to be spiritual.
Well, that's
You
superstitious.
know?
Yeah, Asians are superstitious as well. I noticed that with my Asian parents, they're superstitious. They would pray to the Buddha statue all the time for money, for good luck. But I don't believe in praying to the statue because it's just a statue. It ain't gonna help you. Yeah,
Maybe
even
not, but they're hoping that the statue is like a channel to Buddha or something.
yeah, even when I
Or it
became
could
a
be a
Muslim,
channel to God or
yeah,
something. I mean, I don't know.
even
I mean,
yeah,
it could work, but the thing is, if they're not, virtuous, they're not really spiritual, and they have no inner
yeah,
virtue. What? Why is Buddha going to answer your prayer? I mean,
yeah,
you have to have good karma to get
yeah,
prayers answered. You have to have some good karma to it's kind of like money. You if you have really good karma, you can purchase some favors and prayers, and get something from higher forces maybe. But
yeah.
if you're just a person who doesn't care about anything except yourself, why are the gods going to help you? I mean,
Right,
you're
right.
just a greedy person that only cares about getting stuff. I mean, if you were very selfless and kind and virtuous, and you didn't care about you were you were trying to help people and stuff, you get more and more blessings, I think,
Yeah.
when you're a really good, kind, caring person, like a Mother Teresa type person. Then you
Yeah.
start getting more prayers answered if you're like that. If you're um,
And plus, yeah, when I became a Muslim, my parents disliked it. They disagree with it, and it's because
Did your parents say, what the heck? Why are you why Muslim? What are you doing, man?
because I was trying to change my life into a positive life. Um, I had it. You know, I felt. I don't know how to explain it. I was trying to find a religion with God and God belief in it, because I developed, yeah, you know, the, I did develop depression. I did got depressed, during the COVID-19 stuff, and I didn't know why. I didn't have any friends at all. After high school, I don't know why I couldn't get any, you know, any female close friend relationship as well. I was like, man, what the hell is wrong with my life? Why I can't find any female friends or have a dating,
Well, I think
female relationship.
you have to start with a clique in high school before you can have
Yeah,
friends or something, or maybe
yeah,
in
but
college. I mean, But the thing is, once I went to college, everyone was all business. Nobody was looking to make friends. I mean,
Yeah.
did you go to college first, or
Yes, I went to college for 10 weeks, but I didn't enjoy it at all. It didn't. College didn't fit well with me because I felt like I wasn't learning anything. And then when I tried to make friends, I felt like I was out of the bubble of the clique as well. Yeah, and the females there didn't really find find me attractive enough to date or something. I don't know why. You know, I don't know. Uh, I did try to find a clique of good friends in high school to feel happy with, but I felt like I was being made fun of too much. I feel like young Americans they like to make fun of you know people a lot for some reason. I don't know. There's just something about it that they like to make fun of other people and put down other people. I don't know.
well, I don't know because it's
Yeah,
competitive culture, so they like to tear people
yeah,
down. I mean, you see that in
yeah,
politics too.
yeah.
It's just too
Yeah,
competitive.
but even though I became a Muslim, nothing still changed. It's the same thing. And one guy told me, "Oh, you pray to God to bring you more money, to change your life, to become more successful. It's gonna happen." I've been doing it for 3 months now, 2 months now. Nothing happened. The only thing that happened that maybe made me become more happy was learning more about God, the creator of the universe. That's all I learned. Yeah. Yeah, I want to move on to the next question, number 8. I don't want to take too long. Um, all right, where is it? Yeah, can you compare the difference between the European and American culture? Can you compare that? And then I go on to number 9. Number 8 is not going to be very long because we already talked about the different cultures.
Oh well, comparing cultures. Well, in Europe, I guess they're more. They're not as materialistic. They don't live to work, and
All right, all
so
right,
there's more
yeah,
beautiful
nice.
architecture, and the people are, like we said, are more curious and adventurous, open-minded. So they're more
Yeah,
on my wavelength. So I feel a lot
yeah.
more comfortable. When you go out in
Oh,
Europe, you don't feel as
I
weird
read
like
of
like
that
every.
Europeans. Yeah, I read of that Europeans. They travel a lot more, 10 times more than Americans. They do.
Oh yeah, and they're
Americans
not
they don't
afraid to
travel
travel
much.
alone too.
Yeah,
They're more
I
confident
read
about
it
traveling
up.
alone, and they know stuff. Like they know who the presidents are in the countries next to them. They know about other
Nice,
cultures.
nice.
But yeah, they don't feel anything wrong with traveling alone. It's they don't feel like a loser. They don't think like that.
Nice, nice. I feel like if I was living in Europe, I would feel like I'm James Bond, but the Asian version of James Bond. Because James Bond, you watch the old movies in the 1960s and 50s, you saw how you know, travel alone around Europe. He traveled alone and he know what he was doing. That's why I feel
Oh
like if
yeah,
I was
yeah, you
living in
sort of
Europe.
have that feeling because it feels more adventurous. It's more interesting. And,
Yeah,
and, and, and when you travel in Europe, you meet people. I mean, people will ask you,
right.
where are you from, or where are you going, or something. I mean, they'll make small talk. I mean, most of the time it is superficial, but it feels pleasant. It feels like authentic.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
people will help you. Tell you where to go or stuff.
yeah. And also it feels like if you travel alone, I think you're dead right about one time you said that if you travel alone in other countries, in foreign countries, you're able to make new friends, connect with people, and get to date women as well. But if you travel alone in America, people don't want to deal with you at all. They just judge you for being a creep or some type of killer like Ted Bundy or something.
Ted Bunny, that's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Plus, when you
yeah,
travel alone, there's a benefit because you can go where you want and plan your own schedule. If you're traveling in a group, you have to follow the group. And if you're traveling with a
right.
friend, the friend has to agree with you.
Right.
everything. Like for example, I like museums and cathedrals, and so I spend a lot of
Right.
time in a cathedral. But not everyone likes that. If I'm traveling with somebody, they might say, "Hey, I don't want to be here that long," So they might not agree with you on where to go and how long to stay. So it's more
Right.
complicated when you travel with other people. And if you're in a group, then you got to follow the whole group. You can't just
Right.
do what you want. There's more freedom when you travel alone. But you don't have to be
Right.
lonely. Like if you're in a friendly country, you don't. If you're alone, you don't have to be lonely because people will talk to you and hang out and invite you for a drink or something or show you around.
Right.
That's the thing
Right.
about Europe. Good thing I like is you know a girl. I mean, the women in Europe, they'll um, they're happy to show you around. So even if they're not romantically attracted to you, they'll still hang out. Whereas in America,
Right.
if a girl thinks you're not her type and she's not attracted to you,
Yeah.
she doesn't want to hang out at all.
Right. That's why I feel the
They
same
don't want
way.
they don't even want to be your friend or to show you around. If you're not her type, she doesn't want anything to do with you. So in America, it's like all or
Right.
nothing. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
in Europe, even if you're not her type and she thinks you're interesting, she'll still show you around and talk to you
Wow. That's amazing. I didn't know that.
and Russia too. So they're always happy to show you around, to be hospitable.
Right.
Even if you're not her type, she'll still be cool
Yeah.
and friendly and social. She'll still be very social to you. So they don't
Yeah. I
have that
feel
hang
like
up there. That's a very major difference, I noticed.
yeah, I feel like women
Huge
in
difference.
America are very, very cliquey and judgmental and have a bitchy attitude when it comes to trying to attract them or trying to get to know them. They have this bitchy attitude, like they say, like they were like it feels like they would try to tell you, "Hey, fuck off," something like that, like in a mean, rude way. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's just all or nothing. I don't like that. I
yeah.
mean it's just
I had
kind of
one girl that
extreme.
I was interested in high school. She said, "If you don't leave me alone, I'm gonna hit you." Say, "Okay, try to hit me if you want," but she didn't do it. She tried to scare me
Yeah,
because
but
she wasn't
it's not
interested
just
in it.
America. You have the same
Mhm.
thing in like China too.
Yeah,
In China or Taiwan or Hong Kong, if a girl
yeah,
is not interested in you, she's not going to just hang out with you.
hmm,
She'll see it as a waste
yeah,
of time.
yeah,
They're not that open-minded about hanging out.
yeah,
She has to be serious about you to hang out with you.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's a waste
yeah,
of time. So the Chinese mindset is very practical like that too. They don't
yeah,
just hang out for fun. There has to be
yeah,
a important reason to be hanging out with
yeah,
you. Like they want to get
yeah,
married to you or something.
yeah,
Otherwise it's a waste of time. And I don't
yeah,
like that about Chinese culture. It's just too practical
yeah.
in that sense. I mean, so
Too
there's a
serious,
lot of
huh? Too
downsides.
serious.
There's a
Or they get too
downside to,
serious
to,
too.
to Asia too.
Yeah, they're too serious as well, right?
Hmm? Oh
The Chinese,
yeah. Chinese is
yeah,
more culture is more serious and uptight.
yeah, like a business. We only deal with people with business.
Yeah, they're too practical. I mean, they're just you know too pragmatic. There has to be some practical reason. So they're similar to America in that sense, but
Yeah,
not as toxic. I mean, they don't
yeah,
try to bring you down or
yeah,
shame you as much.
yeah. All right, I want to get in question 9 real quick. I want to get this interview done fast as I can because I got to take my online course work.
Okay. Okay.
All right, number 9 is why don't the media never tell or talk about traveling or living abroad more for people in the U.S. who needs a better dating or social connection? Like, yeah, that was number 9.
Well, the U.S. media is controlled by corporations, and
Oh, okay,
corporations want you to be a workaholic. So the
yeah,
media never tells you to be less materialistic or
yeah,
something or to be more spiritual. The media always assumes that you're a workaholic and you live to work and your job is your
uh,
identity. That's American culture. Your identity and your purpose is your job. and
Right,
so the
right.
media is always going to support that. But you can find stuff like the travel channel where you can see people going abroad and stuff. But the thing is, all they talk about is food or something superficial. They don't talk about
Yeah.
nobody talks
Most of
about
these
social connection or meeting
most of
people.
these most of these American travelers when they on YouTube when they go travel to another country, all they talk about and do is eat and eat and eat. Like they don't never seem like they connect and socialize with people to make friends with or try to date women with. They just go to another country just to find food and eat. That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? You travel only to go eat another
Yeah, because
food
food is a
and have,
safe topic. If
yeah,
you talk about socializing, that's kind of like you know I guess you're not supposed to be very open. You're supposed to be like superficial and talk about something polite like food or something, or I don't know, or some tourist activity.
yeah,
It's just
right,
a safe topic, I guess.
right,
But
right.
yeah, the media is all controlled by corporations, so
Yeah. Is it controlled by the government as well?
in some
Or
sense,
no?
because at the highest levels, the corporations and the government all work together at the top. You know
Yeah.
that guy Jesse Ventura, the governor of Minnesota. Um, yeah, he said when he was governor, he found that out. Like when he met people that are very elite at the top, he found that the people at the top of government and at the top of corporations are sitting together at the same table.
Yeah.
So at the
Yeah.
top, they're the same. You know, in the U.S. that is.
Yeah. All right.
That's why the U.S. is called a corporatocracy because it's a democracy of corporations, not a democracy of people. The
Yeah.
corporations have the vote. The people don't
Yeah.
have any real vote. That's why it's called a corporatocracy.
Yeah. Um.
Okay,
Yeah, I never ever even vote for any president because I didn't really care at all about having the freedom to vote. Because what does that have to do with my personal freedom? Nothing. It's not gonna do anything if I don't vote, right? It's not like they're gonna arrest me and say, "Hey, why didn't
yeah,
you
they
vote?"
want you to think that it matters because
Yeah.
I mean it doesn't, but they want you to think that because it's a
Yeah.
distraction. It's
Yeah.
a distraction. They want you to think you're in a
Yeah.
free country so that
Yeah.
you'll go to work every day and work hard and be a good
Yeah.
citizen.
And plus, I think Donald Trump made America worse because he kept talking, saying, "I'm gonna make America great again." He never did. He never did. He made the cops in the U.S. kill more people in the U.S. Kill more blacks, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, the president can only do so much. I mean, he doesn't
Hmm.
have absolute power. I mean, he can
Yeah,
only do so much.
yeah.
I mean,
All right. Question number 10 is why is it that America has a high rate of mental development disorder compared to other countries? Like some unknown, bizarre, mental development disorder. Like you're not born with these mental
you
problem
mean
or
mental illness
sickness,
or mental disorder?
mental disorder. Like they're not born with these mental illness at all. Like they start to develop these strange mental development disorder in America compared to other countries. Why is that?
Well, I think one. I mean, there's several reasons. Of course, it's very isolating, and there's a lot of like bad ingredients in food and stuff. But I think
Yeah.
there's a deeper reason, and the deeper reason is that when you're in a culture that's really fake and competitive, you have
Right,
to put on
right,
a mask every day,
right.
and you can't
Yeah.
be yourself. And once you put on a mask, you split into two people.
Right,
A fake self and your real self,
right,
and so that splits your soul and your mind into two. And so
right.
you're never mentally healthy that way. You're always insecure. Um, so you constantly have
Right.
to pretend to be confident. You have to like all you can't just be naturally confident. You have to work on your self-esteem. That's the thing. In other
Yeah.
countries, people don't have to work on their self-esteem. They can just be themselves.
Right.
But in America, you have to keep pumping up like a gas station your self-esteem
Yeah.
over and
And then
over again.
that, and then And then
And
what that
once you,
does is that
hmm yeah,
yeah, what that,
yeah, I was
yeah,
saying
what that does
once
is
you
that it,
once you're split inside, you lose your mental health eventually
right, right,
because you're always living as two people, and there's a
yeah.
lot of stress to maintain that all the time,
So the
and you're
cause
always
of the
insecure too.
mental all right, so the cause of these high rate of mental development disorder in America more than other countries is due to the toxic, artificial, fake uh, American culture, right?
Yeah, because nobody in America, nobody likes you for you. Nobody loves you for
Right,
you. So you have to
right,
try to be something you're not.
right. I
And that
agree.
stress is
You're
going to
totally right.
eventually break you down, especially if you're attached to it. If you're
Uh
not
huh.
attached to it and you don't care, you'll be a lot better off. But the thing is, most people care. They don't want to be a loser. And so there's a lot of pressure and they're always insecure. And so eventually all of that eventually crashes down or something and they lose it. Or they have to take antidepressants or something or
Right.
um,
Yeah, people in America, for some reason, you feel like you can't be and get accepted for who you are, and then you got to put on these fake masks and fake acts, and then you try to change your style or wear your clothes, and then once you lose the real you, you lose your mind and you go, psychologically insane or something.
yeah, in other
Um,
countries people don't have to see a therapist or a
yeah,
psychiatrist.
that's
That's
interesting.
an American thing. I mean, even
Yeah,
in Asia, people don't go to a psychiatrist or a therapist. I mean,
that's interesting. Because I one time I tried to go to a therapist because I thought I had some type of mental disorder because I was obsessed with these women that I found attractive, and I would like attach myself to them, like a stalker. And I thought that was I had some type of mental problem, with that. And then I tried to go see a therapist, but I never did go see a therapist, you know. And it's a
yeah,
waste
because
of
in
time
America
for
you're
me.
constantly told psychologically, not literally, but psychologically, you're constantly told there's something wrong with you. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
There's something wrong
exactly.
with you. What's wrong
That's
with
that's
you?
that's in the
And it
American
makes you
culture.
insecure when you're always told that.
Yeah, that's in the American culture. It's like, what is wrong with you? Oh man, you might have some type of mental problem or mental sickness you're born with, yada yada yada. It's
Yeah,
total
and they
bullshit,
don't
man.
always tell you
Bullshit.
that, but you can always feel
Uh-huh.
like that, like they're thinking that there's something wrong with you. It's a mentality.
Yeah,
It's always looming
yeah,
above your head that there's
yeah.
something wrong
If
with
you
you.
watch this movie called The Joker, it's a new
Oh
movie. It came
yeah,
out like last year. Joker, people,
it's very depressing
he,
in the beginning.
yeah, he wasn't really born with mental sickness. He just had a mental development disorder. It's because every day he had to smile and put on these fake acts. He had to pretend that he was somebody that he wasn't, who he was, because he felt like he couldn't accept it for who he was in the American culture. And people brought him down, people judge him, people make fun of him. And so he went psychologically, mentally insane. And then he became a mass shooter. He killed these, people in the train, and then he killed, you know, people who he was working with because, people would kept judging him, making fun of him, and it screwed with him mentally, and it screwed with his mental mind, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I saw
just
that
like
movie. It was really
similar
good,
to
and it
what you
was really
said.
depressing the environment. But don't you get the feeling like when you see that movie, you get the feeling like some dark force in America wants you to really lose your mind like that.
Right,
Like you're on the
right,
edge and they want you to just lose it, go berserk, go crazy.
right, right. This
It's
the
like
thing. This the
they
problem
want
with
that. They want
America.
that. They want
See,
you to
no
go
one.
crazy or something.
Yeah, no one in the news or media never talk about this problem in America. Is that if you develop some type of depression or loneliness, they don't never talk about that, and then they want someone to go crazy, like as you said, like become a mass shooter or killer, you know, and that's really messed up that the news or media never talk about that type of problem in America with the
Yeah, it's like
mental.
they try to bring out the worst in you so they
Yeah,
can
that's how I
justify the
feel like.
paranoia.
I
They
feel
want to
like you,
justify their paranoia, so once they
yeah,
bring out the worst in you, then it validates
yeah,
their paranoid mentality.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so it's almost
That's
like a
how I
self
felt like.
fulfilling prophecy. It's
That's
almost like
how
a
I felt like throughout high school and after high school, where um, I kept being judged. I was made fun of. I couldn't feel accepted for who I was, even when I was being myself. I was just a regular, normal guy. You know, I felt like there's something that want to drive me go crazy. Like Elliot Rogers, but no, I didn't let that. I didn't let that happen to me. I try to focus myself on my passion, my careers and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, it's really messed up that even you notice in the Joker movie, he start to put up these fake laugh, you know, because every time when he was depressed or sad from his loneliness and emptiness of the life he was living in America, he would just put on these fake laugh, because he was so depressed, and those laugh shows that he was really sad and depressed, but it was really messed up. But the news and media never talks about this type of problem of these strange mental development disorder. They never talk about that. They just talk about the stupid crimes and car accidents, these shootings, and yeah, it's just so stupid that the media never talks about this or news. Um, yeah, that's what I don't like about the news in America and media. I don't even pay attention to it, because it doesn't. It has nothing to do with my personal life and also other personal people problems, lives.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
useless to watch the news. Plus, they want you to be
right,
paranoid all the time.
right,
You know, they're
right.
trying to make you paranoid of everything.
Yeah, and
It's
also the news. They like to paint other countries as bad, unfree countries as well, which is total bullshit. They try to make other countries look bad. Like they say, oh, you go to China, you get kidnapped, you get killed. Oh, you ain't got no freedom over there, man. You got no freedom to talk to people or date any woman you want. That's what the news make it look like in America, and that's
oh no,
complete
China is
bullshit.
super safe. There's no bad street or
Yeah,
bad neighborhood in China. You can walk
yeah,
around anywhere at 2 a.m. And be
yeah,
totally safe. Nobody ever mugs you because Chinese people
yeah,
don't mug people. It's
yeah,
not in their nature to get violent or to mug you.
yeah.
So you
All
can
right.
walk around anywhere in China at 2 a.m. and nobody ever is ever going to mug you. It's super safe. The
Yeah,
media never tells you that. No. That's too bad. I mean, the media never tells you that because they want you to think everything about China is bad. It's 100% bad. It's all extreme. It's all bad or all good. It's very
yeah,
black and white. That's what I
yeah,
don't like. I mean,
yeah,
every place has pros and cons, and they try to make China all bad, like there's nothing good over there, and that's not true. I mean, it's
yeah,
stupid. There's a
yeah,
lot of things about China that's better than the U.S. I mean, you don't have to
yeah.
leave tips. You don't have to say you're doing great and try to be positive.
Right.
Um, and every place is pretty safe. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
hotels they'll let you sleep in and check out at 3 p.m. too.
Oh yeah, and
It's not like in
the
America where you have to check out of the hotel at 11 a.m. It's too early if you want to sleep in. I mean, you have to. That's too early if you're like a late sleeper.
yeah,
In China they're more generous about stuff like that. They'll let you
yeah,
stay until 3 o'clock and stuff.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and they give you bigger portions, and you don't have to tip too. In America,
yeah,
the tipping is not an option like in Europe. You're obligated to leave a tip, otherwise you're a scumbag. It's
yeah,
forced, so they don't respect your free will there
yeah,
like that. It's an obligation.
yeah. Also, the media and news in America, I don't know why they always say Mexico is super dangerous. Like you just go there, you would just get killed or get kidnapped randomly, and that's total
Oh
bullshit as
yeah,
well.
they
I went to
exaggerate that
Mexico.
too. I've
I
known
went
a
to
lot of
Mexico
people that went to
City.
Mexico
Nothing
and
happened.
they said they never had a problem.
Yeah, I went to Mexico City. Nothing bad happened. It was amazing over there. Yeah, people from Japan, people from Europe, in Mexico City.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
plus, plus we're guys. If you were a girl, especially like a young, attractive girl, you would have to
Uh-huh.
be worried about getting raped and stuff. So,
Oh,
it's
okay.
different if you're a girl than if you're a guy. If you're a guy, the worst that's going to
Uh-huh.
happen to you is they're going to steal your money and mug you,
Yeah.
and then you'll lose
Yeah.
some cash in your wallet. But you shouldn't be carrying a
Yeah.
lot of cash in your wallet anyways.
Right.
That's the
Right.
worst that can happen to you. You're not going to get raped. But
Yeah.
if you were a girl, a young attractive girl, then yeah, you would have to be worried about getting raped and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's different if
Okay.
you're a
I got
guy.
number 11. It's very interesting. Number 11. Why is it that in a non-English speaking country or non-Anglo American country, there's not like English speaking country or American country, is that people seem more friendly and less anti-social against other people, and also a lot more open towards talking a deep conversation. Also, is it true that people in like Europe, also Latin America, are more down to earth? And last question is it true that foreign women are a lot more easygoing and friendlier to talk to compared to American women? That's a long question.
Yeah, I would say yeah to all of them in general. Of course, there's a lot of variations, but in general, that's true. As to why, I don't know. I guess it's more natural to be friendly and social.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, in America, it seems like everything is engineered and controlled. You see,
Right.
you're not controlled directly. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
there's no soldier pointing a gun at you in America. It's more like a
Right.
psychological control.
Right. It's the
So you're
environment.
mind
The
controlled in America
environment.
more.
I think it's the social environment and the beauty instructors and the social culture in America that feels like it's psychologically, mentally controlling in the individual minds, right? In the media too, right?
Yeah, there's more mind control because America is supposed to be individualistic. Um,
Right.
so in an individualistic country, they have to mind control you more.
Yeah.
Um, whereas in a more collective country, like Japan, the government doesn't have to do anything because everyone conforms to the collective anyways. So the government
Right.
doesn't control you in Japan because everyone follows the social culture anyways. Everyone
Right.
conforms. So in a collectivist country, the government doesn't have to do very much. But in America, where
Right.
everyone thinks they're free and independent, they have to put on more mind control. The
Yeah.
guy, that liberal guy, Noam Chomsky. He says that in his books, um, that in a democratic country, the government has to have more mind control than in a collectivist country
Yeah.
because everyone conforms in Asia. People always conform, so they follow the group, so they don't have to be mind controlled as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah. I
so
wonder
you don't
why.
feel free in America because you don't feel freedom in America because you're mind
Yeah.
controlled constantly.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why in a country, in an English speaking country, you know, um, it doesn't feel, I guess, not truly free, and people don't seem to be friendly, very friendly and down to earth compared to like countries that is like non English speaking country, like a Spanish speaking country or Asian, Southeast Asian speaking country or like a European countries. They seem more friendlier and more down to earth and more sociable and less control, so control like in America, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the English language, but the English language does sound more formal. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the English language is made for business.
Right. Right. You're
So
right.
So yeah,
I
that
know
could
that
be a
it's
reason. The English is designed to be more formal and
yeah,
more for business, whereas
yeah,
in Spanish cultures, the language has more soul and passion.
right.
Um,
And it sounds so beautiful when they sing. You know, you listen to these Spanish singing music. It sounds so beautiful. Like they have a soul, they have passion. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when you're in another country, people who can speak English, they actually have a different look on their face when they speak
Hmm.
English, whereas when they don't. And so perhaps the language changes your brain waves or something.
Yeah.
When the language you speak, it affects your brain waves. And so people who speak English have a certain look, than people who don't speak
Yeah.
any at all.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
And plus the media is usually in English. So, if you're an English speaking person, the media controls you more
Yeah.
too. You're more like brainwashed. And if you're
Yeah.
a woman, then you're going to be, and you speak English, you're going to be more brainwashed by feminism and liberalism and political
Yeah.
correctness. You know, I think that's it. Did I cover all the questions or?
Oh yeah, and there was another one. Is it true that foreign women are a lot more easygoing and friendlier than American women? I think this is true. I think it's true that a foreign woman are easier to to get along with and talk to,
Oh
and
yeah,
they feel a lot more friendlier than American women.
in
American women
Southeast
only seem
Asia, yeah,
friendly
especially in
in
Southeast
business.
Asia, yeah, and in Latin America, yeah, yeah, they're more down to earth and easygoing, and they don't have this paranoid attitude as much.
Yeah,
Um, but that's not always the case in every country. I mean, like if like I said, Chinese women can be very picky too,
yeah,
and very
yeah,
materialistic and snobby too. So not every country is the same. I mean, but yeah, if you go to like warm-blooded countries like Latin America, Philippines, Thailand, where there's a more warm soul, it's going to be a lot better
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, so some
Uh,
countries, yeah, so that's different. So like even in Europe, it's different. Like Spain and Italy are more warm-blooded, but if you go to Sweden or something or Finland or Switzerland, it's going to be more cold and reserved. So there's
that's
there's
bizarre.
variations. Yeah, there's variations, you know,
Yeah,
in every country. So it depends. But yeah, in a lot of countries, they're going to be more easygoing or down to earth. And
yeah,
yeah, even if you were in Sweden or Finland, I mean, even though it's very feminist and reserved, people still act more down to earth because the culture is not as fake.
yeah.
The culture is not fake and all about flash and BS.
Right,
That's
right.
the problem with American cultures. There's too much BS, and so even if you're in Britain or Ireland or Sweden or Germany, okay,
Yeah,
I mean, there's going to be a lot of feminism and stuff, but it's not going to be super fake. The culture, it's in a sense, it's still going to be more down to earth.
right, right.
Even though, yeah, it has a lot of problems too, but it's going to be down to earth because the fakeness in America is just off the chart,
Yeah,
too extreme, off the chart.
yeah.
So pretty much anywhere, even Australia is going to be more down to earth in a certain sense, especially
Yeah,
compared to California or something. I mean,
yeah.
so it's all relative depending on what you can compare it to.
Yeah, number 12 question. Yeah, we got at least five more questions to go.
Oh yeah, like
Um,
even China is more down to earth because in China the culture is not as fake. Like in China,
yeah.
people don't wear sports teams on their shirt, or they're
Oh,
not crazy about sports. So
interesting.
so so even though China is very materialistic and practical, it's not going to be really fake like Americans are. It's going to be
Yeah, I
more.
see so
It's
many
still going to be down to earth
Americans. They
more.
wear. Yeah, I see so many Americans. They wear these sports shirts. I don't understand that. They wear like sport T-shirts,
Yeah, they have
Jenkos,
no
and Polo.
identity. So the sports team has to be
Yeah,
their identity. It's kind of
yeah,
stupid. You don't have any identity. It's like you're empty.
Yeah, they wear
It's
like
sad.
these boring, plain lazy sleeping clothes or gym clothes or sport clothes in public. I said, why do they wear stuff like that? They look lazy, you know. And they don't seem like they have like real authentic identity of what style or what characteristic are they, you know, when they
Yeah.
wear
Well,
like
I mean,
lazy,
in
boring
Europe,
clothes.
they're crazy about soccer too, which they call
Yeah,
football. So in Europe, they
yeah,
can be crazy
football.
about
Yeah,
soccer too. But in Chinese countries, yeah, they're not crazy about sports. It's kind of
yeah.
stupid. They think it's kind of stupid to be crazy about
Is it
sports.
true? Is it true that in China most thing they like is like martial arts stuff, like kung fu, tai chi stuff,
Oh no,
wushu?
that's just in the movies. I mean, the average person
Huh?
doesn't learn kung fu or something.
What? I thought in China they practice a lot of
No,
kung
that's in the
fu, tai
movies.
chi. Oh,
That's for
yeah,
the
I see that in the
movies,
movies.
but the
Yeah,
average person is not even interested in that. Plus,
yeah,
it's not practical to learn kung fu. You just learn it for exercise. You can't use it in the fight
yeah,
because if someone has a gun, it doesn't matter how good you are in kung fu. So
yeah,
people only take that if they want the exercise or
yeah.
to be in the
Well,
movie or
I
something.
practice it, but I practice it for exercise. Um, yeah, I was. Yeah, when I practiced the Chinese martial art, I was more skeptical in learning the real combative form. You know, not the Tai Chi form because that's for exercise. I was more curious about learning the self defense fighting combative form, and I did learn. You know,
Yeah.
some of it. Some
Well,
yeah,
you see, back in the
some of it.
80s when I was taking karate, there was nothing to do
Yeah.
at night if you didn't have any friends.
Mm-hmm.
All you could do is watch TV if you didn't have a social life. So, more people took
Yeah.
karate, but nowadays people are on their phone all the time, so they're not
Yeah.
even care about taking karate or something. I don't
Yeah.
think it's as
Most
common as it was before.
most Americans now they got so lazy like a pig. They just lay down or sit down all day and watch TV shows or movies or play play stupid games on their phone. It's ridiculous. I want to live a life like I'm able to do physical activity stuff. You know. Yeah. Does European people do that? Do European people do more exercise? I bet they do.
Well, they walk more, like if they take the bus or the train or the subway.
Yeah.
When you have
Yeah.
public transportation, you walk more and it's more healthy and you meet people too. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
when you drive all
And
the
I,
time, it's not as healthy.
yeah. And also, all right, let's move on number 12. Yeah. Um, yeah, number 12 question is why does the media news in America love to focus on crimes and wars, also politics so much, other than talking about the average people uh personal problems like the TFL stuff, true force loneliness, male loneliness, also bizarre development of high rate mental disorder. They don't talk about that. Why in the US? They don't
Well,
talk
I
about that.
mean, loneliness is a taboo topic. You're not supposed to
Yeah,
say you're
male
lonely.
loneliness. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
supposed to deny it. You're not supposed to talk about that. That's a taboo topic. So everyone likes to deny it. If you talk about that, you'll look like a loser. And yeah,
Right.
they want to focus on crime and violence because that makes people paranoid. And it's more
Yeah,
exciting because that type of news sells. Like
yeah,
it's always in the movies. You see some crime or violence or murder.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what keeps people entertained and distracted.
yeah.
If you're paranoid, then you'll be more insecure, and then you'll start to go out and go shopping more. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you'll spend more money and buy more things if you're paranoid than if you're not.
Yeah,
If you're simple and
yeah.
you're spiritual and you don't need a lot of things, then you're not going to buy stuff, and so that's bad for the
Right,
economy.
right.
Um, and when you're
Mm,
paranoid of violence, it's like you're easy to control because you're always afraid, and so you're like really low consciousness. Your
mm-hmm.
spiritual level is really low, so it's easy to control you. So
Yeah,
it's just part of the population management thing,
yeah.
I think. And I'm not
Yeah,
saying movies should never have violence. It's normal to have some violence in movies. They had it in the 50s and 60s too. But the problem with today's movies is the violence is excessive. It's too much. It's more than necessary. If you
right,
watch a movie from the 60s or the 70s, they'll have a little bit
right.
of violence at certain points,
Yeah,
but it's not
yeah.
excessive. When you watch a movie today, I mean, they'll have some violent scene in the
I
first
see what you
in the
mean.
first minute. In the first minute of the movie, they'll start with something violent. Before
Yeah,
it wasn't like
I
that.
see.
If you watch a movie from the 70s, the opening scenes were not violent. The violence came later in the movie.
Yeah,
But nowadays, they'll put something violent in the first minute in the movie.
right.
It
I
doesn't
watch
build. It
old
doesn't
movies. I
develop
like it.
character anymore.
I look. Yeah, I see what you mean. I watch from classical movies like the James Bond movie or some romance movie in the old days. They didn't start with no violence, and then when I watch movie in the 2000s like Jet Li or like action American movie, they start off fighting already or shooting each other. It's like, what the hell? Why are they doing that already?
Yeah,
It's
it
weird
ruins
that in the
it
old
because there's
days.
no surprise if they
Yeah,
have the violence in the beginning.
yeah.
It
They want to
doesn't
put
build
more
up.
violence because it excites people or it want to scare people from strangers or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, Hollywood movies for years, why do they like to portray Asian male actors as these crazy, violent martial artists? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but Asian men are not considered attractive in American culture, so they're not going to cast an Asian male as a romantic lead.
Right, right.
Yeah, he has to
Yeah,
either be a gangster or a kung fu guy, kind of
yeah.
like Jet Li. He's
Mm-hmm.
always some martial artist.
Yeah,
Otherwise, he has no value because Jet Li is not going to be cast as a romantic hero
yeah,
or like a
yeah,
Romeo or something.
yeah,
Because Asian men aren't attractive in America. Only Asian women
yeah.
are.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. I
Unless you
wonder
look
why it is.
like Keanu Reeves or something.
Yeah,
But
if you look
his
like a
movies are
white,
really violent too. His movies are have a ton of action, like John Wick.
yeah, like
Way too much.
right, exactly. I agree with you. And these violent movies, it does make kids want to become reactive and become violent as well. If these kids watch these movies so much, you know. Yeah, and
Yeah, but I mean, Asians are not as good in acting as whites are. I mean, they don't
yeah,
have a wide range of characters they can portray because they don't
yeah,
have a lot of expression on their face. So they can't portray that many roles either. That's another
yeah,
reason. Like for example, you'll never have an
yeah,
Asian guy play the Joker in Batman, for example.
yeah. You're
To
right.
look really crazy and psychotic like the Joker, you probably have to have a white guy. Only a white guy can do that. You can
Yeah,
an Asian guy doesn't have the range in his acting skills to pull that off. So
right.
they're kind of narrow in what they can do, the range.
Yeah, I think Hollywood. I think the people who control Hollywood is the white people. I think, and they're very stereotypical. They
Well,
all
actually, no. The Jews control Hollywood.
oh
They admit it.
Jews.
I mean, the Jews control Hollywood, um, but yeah, usually the lead character is either white or black. Sometimes there's a black guy, but they don't usually have an Asian guy as the lead character or
Yeah,
protagonist.
yeah,
Unless it's a kung fu movie like Jet Li maybe or Jackie Chan
yeah,
sometimes, but
yeah. Hey, this is another superhero martial art kung fu type of movie come now with an Asian male lead now, but it's in all Asian cast. It's animated. Yeah. And it's getting people hyped up. That's the American culture. They focus so much on movies, not so much on social connection or dating development or friendship development. They don't
yeah, and
focus on
I don't
that.
like modern movies because the characters look very cold.
Yeah,
They look kind of cold. There's no warmth in the characters in
and
modern movies.
and more movies
They
nowadays are
look
fake
very
because
yeah, they look jaded and cold and bleak and
yeah,
like
Yeah, movies nowadays are more fake because they edit more fake graphics to it as
Yeah,
well.
it looks like a video game. It's not
Yeah,
special. When you see an action
yeah,
movie, it's not special. It's too
yeah.
CGI, too much.
Right, right.
There's no
Yeah,
character development. There's no emotional investment. When you
yeah,
had a really good TV character in the '70s, you
yeah,
would feel emotional investment in the characters. You
yeah,
don't feel any emotional investment in these
yeah,
characters.
yeah, yeah. But back, like I was saying, yeah, I just don't understand why news and media don't try to focus and talk about and try to fix the average, person life in the U.S. Like the male loneliness, TFL, and mental bizarre development disorder. They don't never talk about those issues at all. Try to like they don't seem like they care about trying to help the individuals.
Well, no, the
They
media
just
just wants to entertain you. And
uh,
if you need see a therapist, you're
yeah,
supposed to do that on with your own health insurance. And
yeah,
usually a therapist, I've only gone to a few therapists. They don't really do anything. They just either talk to you, but they have no solutions, or they'll give you some medication to help you. They'll give you some medicine to take, but they don't.
yeah,
They
yeah,
don't solve your problems. They don't do anything. They just give you drugs or something. But the media is there to distract you and entertain you. They're not there to give you solutions or to help you to become free. That's the problem with American media. Nobody's trying to give you freedom or liberate you from being a
yeah,
slave. They just want
yeah,
to entertain you and distract you. And that's true
yeah,
with sports, movies, politics. Everything's just a distraction. Nobody solves your problems.
yeah.
Nobody has solutions
You're
to solve your
right.
problems.
You're right.
There's
Yeah,
two
but
important.
my solution, my main thing is I want to get out of America. I want to go abroad. That's
Yeah,
my
that's one
motivation
solution
of
that can
solution.
liberate you. Another
Yeah,
solution is to find self-employment. Learn how
yeah,
to start a portable business. Like a friend of mine has a website called passionprofit.com, and he teaches people how to make a living from their passions to create a portable
yeah,
income. Once you create a portable income, you can not depend on a job anymore. So
yeah,
that's another good solution. Not everyone can do that, but it's just another solution. I mean, it should be discussed on the table, but it's never discussed in American media. Nobody talks
yeah,
about any solutions. Nobody has any solutions. Even in alternative media, nobody has solutions. Like if you watch, alternative media, um, they don't have solutions either. They just tell you to try to take back your freedom and make America free again. And that's useless because you can't, take America back and make it free again. I
yeah,
mean, that's stupid. You can't go out and make America into a free country. That's not in your power. And even if you could go out and change America and make it into a free country, somebody will change it back again. So you see, it's
mm-hmm.
ultimately futile because even if you do change society, somebody will change it back again. Someone
Yeah,
more powerful than you will change it back to the way it was, even if you succeed. So ultimately, it's pointless. You can
yeah,
only change your own life. You can't change society. You can only change your own life. Society is always going to have ups and downs and different cycles, um, and you don't have any control over that. Every empire rises and falls. Like
yeah,
Roman Empire or the British Empire, it always has a time where it rises and then it starts to decline and collapse, and you have no control over that.
yeah,
So all you can do is control your own life. You know. So don't fall into the trap of trying to control society. It's useless. Even if you succeed,
yeah.
somebody will undo all the changes and turn it back.
Right.
You know, that's what everyone doesn't get.
Yeah. All right. Number 13 was what about Number 13 is about. Well, it was about American woman, but I'm gonna skip that because we were talking about that. Yeah, number 14 is that why is it that the U.S. government want to take more over control by putting more laws and take people freedom away than other countries? You
Oh,
get it?
oh, why they make more laws?
Yeah. Why is that the U.S. government want to take more over control and put more laws and take
I
people
think it's
freedom away?
because they live people live in fear. They think that if everyone
Yeah.
is free, then people will do bad things if everyone is free. So they got to pass laws to
Hmm.
protect people. That's the original intention. But I think there's another reason in that. After World War II, the U.S.
Yeah.
government
Yeah.
grew really huge. The
Mm.
socialism policies of the New Deal, with Franklin Roosevelt, it made the government grow exponentially huge. So the U.S.
Yeah.
government used to be really small. That's the way it was
Yeah.
supposed to be. That's the way
Yeah.
the founding fathers wanted a small government that was limited and only was there to protect your rights, kind of like a libertarian
Yeah.
government. But after World War II,
Yeah.
it started to grow huge. And the bigger the government grows, the more laws it has to pass in order to justify its existence. So it needs more and more money and more taxes when it grows. And so it becomes a monster. Once it grows, it doesn't want to shrink again because every government agency needs money and funding. And in order to get money and funding, they have to prove that they're useful. And in order to prove that they're useful, they have to do something like catch bad guys or arrest people or make more laws to show that they're being doing something useful. And every government agency needs funding, so it has to prove that it's doing something to get that funding. And so they're
Yeah.
trying to grow more rather than shrink. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem with big government. It doesn't want to shrink. It wants to keep expanding. That's
Right.
why the founding fathers of America didn't want that. So, as that happens, they have to pass more and more laws to look like they're doing something useful. Um, Otherwise, what's the point? Like if you're a police
Yeah.
officer, you have to. If you're a policeman, you have to show that you're doing something useful in protecting
Yeah.
people. Otherwise, why would they pay you? If you're
Yeah.
not doing something useful. So every government agency has to pretend to be doing something useful.
Right.
So it's a stupid system.
Right. And I put out your two articles you wrote about. One was about 8 reasons why America is not the land of free, and the other one was about why America is not the last bastion of freedom. 13 reasons why foreign countries have more freedom with social and dating life. I like that art you wrote. I like both. I highlighted it.
Yeah,
I
that's
made it
funny.
like it was like a
It's
comic
very
book.
unique because I talk about a lot of things nobody talks about.
Yeah, I like your articles you wrote. It's like my favorite comic book, like a kid.
A comic book. Yeah, I put some
Yeah,
pictures into it to make it more interesting too.
yeah. I saw a picture of you in Europe and Russia. It looks so beautiful, so unique too. I like it.
Oh yeah, when you're surrounded by beautiful architecture, I mean, it feels
Yeah,
good. You feel more soulful.
yeah,
You don't feel as depressed in Europe or Russia because you're surrounded
right,
by really artistic architecture. And
right,
so it's
right.
not just connecting with other people, it's connecting with the environment and the culture too. That's
Yeah,
what people don't understand. You don't just connect with other people, you have to have a connection with the culture too. You have to fit your culture to be happy.
right, right,
Even if you have a girlfriend, if you don't fit into the culture, you're still going to be kind of alienated, even if you have friends or a girlfriend. If
right,
you don't fit into the culture, you're not going to be truly happy.
right. Yeah, I gotta hurry up and finish these two last questions because it's been like 2 hours in 15 minutes. Or
No,
not
it's been 3
15.
hours because we were cut off in the middle. Remember?
Yeah,
So there was
yeah.
another hour before
That's
us.
all right.
So I think
Yeah.
it's three
I just
hours.
gotta hurry up. Yeah, I just gotta hurry up and finish with this interview with you because I got a online course work to do. And number
Okay,
15
all
was
right. Let's
about,
just hurry up then.
yeah, how can a new living foreigner use money inside another country, such as an example, if I came to China or Europe, how can I change from using a US dollar to into using like a European or Chinese dollar?
Well, how do you change dollars?
Yeah, like if I go to the bank in Europe or China, how can I change from using a US dollar to a European or
Oh,
Chinese dollar?
well, that's easy. I mean, you don't have to go to a bank, but you can. You can just go to
Oh,
a cash exchange booth, and they
mm,
have them everywhere in the city. They have a cash
mm,
exchange, and then if you find
uh-huh,
one with a good exchange rate, you can change the cash there.
yeah.
And but most people they can just do that at the airport. They have them at the
Oh,
airport. You don't have to
out.
do
Yeah.
that. And you can use your ATM card in other countries too, but you'll just have to pay like a
Yeah.
transaction fee if you do that.
Can
So
you
that's really
can
easy and
you use
convenient.
yeah. Can you use your own debit card in another country, or you can use another
Oh
type of
yeah,
card,
yeah.
credit card?
You can use a credit card or an ATM in another country, but the thing is, they'll charge you transaction fees. Like if
Oh,
you're abroad, there'll be like a 3% fee if you use a credit card.
uh-huh.
But you can get out of that. Like if you have American Express card or certain types of travel credit cards, they'll waive that 3% fee. So
Oh,
you have to look for some type of special cards, like I don't remember, like there's certain types of like credit cards where there's no fee if you use it overseas. So it
yeah.
depends on the card, but most cards you'll have a transaction fee like three
Yeah, I
percent.
want to really know about that really bad. Like, how can I use from a US dollar to like a European dollar or to a Chinese dollar or something? I don't know. That's why I asked you because you're an expat. You know, you're a traveler. Yeah,
Yeah,
I only
you
have a
just
debit
change the
card.
money at the cash booth, or you can do it in the bank too. But most people just do it at the airport.
Oh, yeah. I need to know because I only have a debit card. You know, I don't know which credit cards to get to use it for living abroad in the future. So that's why I asked you. You know.
Yeah, you can use a debit card as long as it has a Visa or a Mastercard logo on it. You
Yeah.
can use it as a credit card in other countries. I mean, all
Yeah.
that stuff is very convenient now. I mean, in China, they just put the money on the WeChat, and then they put it on their WeChat account. So a lot of it's digital now too.
Yeah.
But yeah, if your debit card has a Visa or Mastercard logo, then you can use it abroad
Oh, okay.
in
So is
most
it gonna
places,
charge
not everywhere,
more?
but most places. It depends. Not every business takes credit cards. Usually like a big
Oh,
restaurant will take a credit card.
uh-huh.
But sometimes a small restaurant won't. So it depends.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, I wonder if a debit card, not a credit card, still works if I go abroad, like travel abroad or live abroad, to use my money to pay for food or rent or something. Yeah. I asked you because you're the expert. Yeah, I got one last question. Um, is it true that a Mexican immigrant or any other immigrants actually don't look at America as the land of the free, and they look at America as something the total opposite? I think they do, right?
Oh yeah, I
I don't
think if
think
you
they.
if you talk to Mexican immigrants, they'll tell you America is very uptight and it's not very free. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think anyone thinks America is really that free. It's usually the media
yeah,
that says that.
yeah. And
But
your
immigrants
teachers or
don't usually,
something.
especially immigrants from Mexico or South America, they don't
Yeah,
see America as free at all. I mean, some of them, regret going to America, but the thing is, they came to America to make money. That's their main reason,
Right, right,
and they're
right.
hoping
You,
to make
yeah,
enough money to save enough money and go back. But sometimes they get
right.
stuck in America and they can't go back, or they have too many
Huh.
obligations. So a lot of Mexicans
Yeah,
get stuck there, but some do move back. I mean, I heard the statistic that there's a lot of Mexicans going back as many as coming to America. So it's almost a net
yeah,
zero now because there's almost as
yeah,
many immigrants coming and going to Mexico as you know coming as much as going. So there's a lot of Mexicans
yeah,
that return too. Once they're tired of all the high cost of living in America, they just go back and they save some money and then they can buy a nice house back in Mexico. But
right,
yeah, they don't see America as free. They just see it as an opportunity to make money.
right.
But yeah, if you talk to them, they'll probably tell you something like that. If they're
Yeah,
very honest and open to you, that is,
yeah,
if they want to.
yeah.
Because
My,
when you talk
yeah,
about this, it's not politically correct, so not everybody wants to talk about it.
yeah, yeah. And plus, I read this article online called 10 10 things that most Americans don't know about America. And part of the list, it says that most people in other countries aren't actually really impressed of the US of America. They aren't really that
Oh
impressed
yeah,
by
I
it.
saw that. Yeah,
It's a
yeah, that's true. I mean,
popular
most people don't idolize America. I don't think
yeah,
they
yeah,
not that I've seen. Yeah, I mean, they think
uh-huh,
America is really arrogant.
yeah,
Um, they don't see it as I don't think they see it as the land of the free. They just
yeah,
see it as having a lot of money, but they
yeah.
don't see it as the
You
land of
know,
the free. I mean
yeah,
that's like a media propaganda thing,
yeah,
you know. Unless, yeah, I don't know, unless they're from a really authoritarian country like North Korea, maybe. But
yeah,
yeah, even people from China don't think America is the land of the free. I mean, usually if you ask a Chinese immigrant, they'll say, well, Americans are really selfish. They're really fake. That's what they'll say. They won't say
yeah,
that Americans are really free. Chinese immigrants
yeah,
usually describe Americans as selfish and artificial
yeah,
and fake and just pretend and superficial too.
yeah,
That's what a Chinese immigrant
yeah.
usually says.
That's interesting. I'm very interested in wanting to know about other immigrants from other foreign countries like Russia, Europe, Asia. I want to ask one day. I want to see. I want to see what it would look like in my own views if I ask them, "Hey, what do you think of America? Do you think they're the land of free, or they're the freest country in the world, or do you think that they're humble, raising people, or friendly, humble, raising people?" I bet they're gonna say the opposite.
Yeah, a lot of them do. But the thing is, you got to ask. Usually, you have to ask people that are a little older because people
Yeah,
that are more older and have more experience, they'll have more observations and opinions to share. If you
yeah,
ask someone real
yeah,
young, they're not going to have a lot of observations or opinions. They're just,
yeah,
they don't know anything. So if you ask somebody that's more like middle age type of
yeah,
immigrant, they'll have more opinions to share with you
yeah,
about that.
yeah. Well, um, what else I was gonna say? Uh, man, I don't know. Something, you know, forced me to want to believe that America is not the only country to live in. You don't have to live here like a prisoner or like a rat in a cage. Um, Something forced me to believe that America is not the freest or best country in the world. Even when I did my research, there was facts. A statistic study showed that America was showed 15 different reasons why America is not the best country in the world, and that shows you right there that this is not the only country you have to live in. You can live in Europe for your own personal views, Asia for your own personal views, Latin America. Yeah, um, yeah. I'm so happy that I get to talk to you, Winston. Thank you very much for this interview.
Yeah,
and
and after we finish this, I mean, I'll send you a copy, and then you can watch it again because you know
Yeah.
so you can remember everything I said because you might not remember every single thing
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I
said, but
agree.
if you
I
watch
agree.
it over again, then you can remember it. You know,
Yeah.
I do that
Yeah.
sometimes with podcasts and interviews. Like I'll have to watch it several
Yeah.
times because after a
Yeah.
while I'll forget everything that was said,
Yeah.
and so I have to watch it again to
Right.
remember it.
Yeah.
So
You have so
yeah,
much good information that I can't even remember right after this interview. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I hope it was insightful to you, or
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta go.
helps wake you up or something.
Yeah. I gotta go let my dog out and go pee, and I gotta do my 4 working assignments to do. Yeah. I
Okay.
need to pass this online course so I could use it to live abroad in the future.
Okay.
Because
When I
you're the one
send you
who
the
inspired
copy,
me. Yeah.
yeah, when I send you a
Yeah.
copy, you can just upload it to your channel if you want.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a
Thanks.
great day.
It's good talking to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Next time.
Yeah. Maybe if you have more questions, maybe we can do a part two sometime or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no problem. I will think of more questions. Yeah.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. Take care. Hope I've given you something to think about. All right. Take care.